Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veil Torn, our first episode. We hope that you all are just as excited as we are to be here. We know that it has been quite a bit of time, so we are going to do introductions of everybody. So we'll do that first, and then we'll talk a little bit about Roll For It and how you can support us, and then we'll get into the show. So first and foremost, we will introduce the new folks to Roll For It, which of course are our one and only new DM, Kai Bear. Do you want to introduce yourself? Talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, how you've been, where people can find you at.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Thompson, or Kai Bear. I'm a Twitch streamer, voice actor. I do audiobooks. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter. I play games and I do voice stuff. And I'm really have that nervous energy right now for this game. I'm super excited. First time doing Pathfinder. So this will be interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah, we are doing Pathfinder 2nd edition, which is really exciting. And of course, we have another new person, Drac. Do you want to tell everybody who you are, where they can find you at?
Yeah, hi, I'm Draconics, or Drac for short. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm a TTRPG performer, TTRPG writer, actual play production manager, I guess. I don't know if that's the title for it, but I produce actual plays. And anything else TTRPG related, I'm probably doing or trying to do. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics, that's DRAKONIQUES. And I'm excited. This is my second Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign. But I'll be honest, the first one wasn't really much of a Pathfinder. I guess we just used it as a thing on the side. It was mostly just improv. So
that's like Roll
I
For
am
It
far from an expert.
in a bag, so you're fine. We pretty much we've done episodes where we never rolled. Anthem, you did a whole series where you didn't roll for you rolled only one in the whole 4
I rolled
episodes.
in the final episode of 4. I didn't roll for the first 3. At one point, there was a roll I was meant to do, but I'd been granted an ability that meant I could auto-pass a roll.
I love that.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to be very at home here. I'm excited.
Yeah, you're very at home. You'll be fine. And of course, I'm a little sick today, so I apologize if I'm not all there. And we have Bentham, who you know already. I'm just going around the overlay.
I'm a part of the furniture at this point. But yeah, I've been a role for a million years. And otherwise, I'd sometimes do Let's Plays streamed and also randomly go on ridiculous tangents and produce a lore video about Horizon Forbidden West because I wanted to and for no other good reason, really. There might be more of that. I've got plans. Maybe they'll happen. And I've also got plans to stream more Let's Plays like more Playtop and Baratrom and Valheim, but we'll see when we get to those. It's been a while.
Very, very
That's
nice.
me.
And of course, we have Tyler back with us. Want to introduce yourself? Looking
I'm
spiffy
Tyler.
with a tie, all profesh.
Listen, anybody who complains about having natural, not curly, very straight hair, today I envy you. Anyway, I'm Tyler Scheid. You can find me on my podcast, Go My Favorite Sports Team. I guess that's where I'm most prominent now because I haven't streamed for almost a year. But you can find me everywhere on social and Twitch. Hopefully coming back to streaming soon as Apocalypto_12. I'm excited for this campaign and love being here at Roll For It. So.
And I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all the places. I do lots of things on the internet. And of course, I'm here with Roll For It. We do lots of fun stuff. So we hope that you stay tuned in and hang out with us. But before we get into the mix of it all, which I'm sure you've seen a little bit of our character, maybe you've read our background stories, we need to do a little bit of, work. So first one here is, of course, thank you to our sponsor, Roll20. We super duper appreciate Roll20. If you're ever curious about how we do our dice rolling or our maps or anything like that, I think we'll be doing more Theater of the Mind for the maps for this show, but we will be doing a lot of rolling. So if you're curious about how we do that stuff, that is through Roll20. And of course, we have merch. If you want to go check out our merch, you can head on over to designbyhumans.com/rollforit. We know sometimes it gets a little cool out and you need to cover up, get a little mug to put your hot cocoa in, whatever it might be. And of course, we would like to thank our supporter today, and that is Thunder Cabbage. I always feel like I need
Thunder Cabbage.
Yeah, do something epic when I say Thunder's name. Thank you, Thunder. We're super duper appreciate your support today. And if you would like to become a supporter, you can head on over to our Patreon where you can become a legend tier or above and support one of our episodes. And you also get to play in a privately GM'd game, which this month is, well, last month was Trooper, who's GMing. But I think Kai Bear might be GMing some little private games for people, and they might affect the game. Who knows? And we also have our backstories for our characters up on Patreon. So if you would like to read those, definitely go check them out. Everyone did such a good job with their stories.
You guys gave me so much ammunition. Oh, it's so good.
Isn't that the best
So
when
good.
you're like the GM and you're like, everybody gives you a 2-page background story?
Well, I'm happy that you guys actually seem to enjoy the world, because every backstory has something that ties in so well with what I want to do. And, as a GM, that's kind. Thank you.
Well, you painted the picture. We're like, ooh, I think we all kind of figured out how we would live in the world together. And I think that's really neat. So we hope that you all enjoy that. I know there's some theories and thoughts. Some people had some redacted stuff, which is great and always good fun, it in Roll For It spirit. And of course, there's lots of other rewards over on our Patreon. I know a lot of questions we get in regards to MP3s. We do have those too. So if you only can listen to audio, we'll try to be vocal about when we roll and things like that for our audio only peoples. And of course, you can head on over to our Twitch right now, and hopefully you're watching us live. And that's always a fun experience because we chat with you in the chat. And you can go to twitch.tv/roll4 and become a sub. I think someone just did a moment ago. Thank you so much for that. And that gets you access to our VODs in advance. And of course, you can become a YouTube member where you get access to some of the emotes from our Twitch, as well as over on our YouTube. And if you are a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or a patron supporter, you can head on over to our Discord and get access to our private Discord where we talk about all the things. And I'm sure there's going to be many, many thoughts after today's episode. And of course, we understand that not everyone can support us in a monetary way. We want you to take care of yourself first and foremost. So please do that. And of course, there's lots of free ways to support us, watching us here live on Twitch, watching our YouTube, subscribing, liking, commenting, heading on over to our Twitter and Facebook and liking, sharing, retweeting, and commenting. We have some tweets out right now. Go do that. And with that, I think I will hand it over to our lovely GM.
Okay. Shake it out. Be ready. Remember, I love you.
What?
What?
That was Alice.
No.
What?
That's a loaded statement.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Do you think I'd really do something so crazy on the first session, episode 1?
Yeah.
I surely wouldn't do anything to really just highlight and draw people's attention in and get your intrigue into this, would I?
Now I'm like, who's he going to start with? Who's his first victim?
Let's see. Let's start with Azu. I feel like that'd be a good time. So, the world of Veiltorn is a war-torn, post-apocalyptic United States. The events of the last 30 years have left civilization in a rebuilding state. We're past the initial survival, the trauma of fighting for your life daily. Now people have cities, people have walls, people have structure and society somewhat. We start in from the clouds, dropping down onto a partially ruined city. Going towards the coast, we start to see the large 20-foot walls of Los Angeles. Right on the other side, you see homes with vines growing on the side, lawns overgrown. Then you start to go a couple more streets and you see a kid on a bike. You see a guard walking around with a giant sword, just over his shoulder on his daily stroll. You go even further and you see inhabited homes. You see lights, you see electricity. You see some with fire, some more personally decorated. You see abandoned cars, you see used cars. You see broken windows, windows with bars. Then you see an older teenager, young adult, riding on their bike, just going about their day. So, Drac, would you like to explain and describe Azu for us?
Yes. For one, I'll say they're much more on the young adult side. They're around 23, 24. Currently on a bike heading towards Griffith Observatory. You can see that they're on their bike and just turning around to wave at a pair of women that they just left. That their mums, a much around 50, early 50s, early to mid 50-year-old woman, black with long hair down to her shoulder, just past her shoulders, and another one much more lean, but you can still see the age on their face, waving over at Azu, who is a rather athletically built person. I think less of a bodybuilder, more of a sprinter or like swimmer. The very lean muscle, hair that's very pretty much a mess, reaches just below their chin, but most of the time is standing up on ends in some way, shape, or form anyway. In a shirt, t-shirt with a unbuttoned button-up shirt over it, slim fit black jeans, and probably the cleanest white trainers you've ever seen. It's probably like it's probably the most clean thing on there, and you can tell they take good care of it. But other than that, there is definitely some odd, very clear, weird things about them. For one, as they're cycling down the street, trailing behind them is a tail. They have a tail that's almost like prismatic blues and purples and greens. And they obviously try their best to keep it wrapped around them so it doesn't hit any passersby. But it seems to have almost a mind of its own, as it always would unfurl again and just sway in the breeze. Their left hand is pretty much entirely covered in scales up to just past their forearm, in the matching scales of prismatic blue, purples, and greens. But most of that is covered up by wrappings, almost like hand wraps you'd see on a Muay Thai fighter, for example. They have on both hands, but you can tell it's made to both protect from punches, but also just hide as much as possible, to no real avail of their left hand. And they're just cycling at full speed because I think they're very late right now. So they're cycling as fast as they can to get to Griffith Observatory.
So the sphere of the sun is just about to hit the horizon. And you told Kate that you would be there well before dark. So you are just going as best you can as you leave the neon sign of the, I think it was the Delicious Sunrise Diner.
Delicious Sunrise. Yeah.
In the background. If many people have never been to Los Angeles, there's a massive hill before Griffith Observatory. So roll me.
Oh, first roll, okay.
The first roll of the game, just purely for flavor. Let's get an athletics check. Can you give me... Let's see how quickly you get to Cade.
It's probably not great. That's what I'll say. There it is. Okay. 11.
Okay. So 11, fairly standard. You know, human bog standard is around 10 to 12, maybe 14. You get there by the time the sun is about halfway past the horizon. A little bit of sweat, but you're a fairly athletic person. You've been training your entire life. Your mothers have been keeping you fit, well fed. You've been training with Nala a lot. So when you get up to the observatory, you look and you see an elven man with medium length white hair that comes down to just below the jawline, really like half curled out. He's in a black 3-piece suit holding a runic cane in front of him. Azu, I thought we were going to be here before sunset.
Yeah. My bad. I'll be honest. I was going to try and make up an excuse, but I'm too tired. Yeah, let's do it. I'm sorry. I won't be late next time. I just lost track of time. I was helping out Mum with the diner. It got busy. I just came up with an excuse, so I guess I'm spouting it out now. Okay. Yeah, okay. I know. I said this last time as well.
It's okay. Come on, you think I'm really going to be that mad at you?
No, but you do the whole I'm not mad, I'm disappointed in you, and I feel like that's a lot worse.
Yeah. You know, I could do that or dodge, and I need you to make a reflex save.
Oh no. Okay. Uh 28.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Cade taps his left foot and a little rock jumps up into the air and gets launched at you. You quickly dodge to the side. It's like, and you stayed on your toes. I'm proud of you. You're doing well. So, what are we working on today? How's everything been over the last week? You doing okay?
I'm doing better. I'm rarely seeing improvement. I'm not going into blind ranges anymore, at least not as much. I usually catch myself before I reach the tipping point.
Have the alterations I made to the wraps been working?
Yeah, and I kind of raise my left hand. It doesn't seem like it's going any further. It's kind of just stopped around there.
Good. That's good. Okay, we're still maintaining at the elbow. Oh, have you had to use them drastically? Like, any nightmares?
None of the usual nightmares. I have, I guess, the typical ones showing up at school with no clothes on. But nothing like before, at least so far.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll keep it to typical nightmares then. Which is good. With your history, I'm surprised you're adjusting as well as you have. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go inside and let's work on some magic now, shall we?
Yes, please.
So you guys walk in together. Just another week. You go inside. In the bottom structure of the Griffith Observatory, there is this training session, training dojo that's been made for you. It has rocks that you can lift. It has places you can bash with as much anger as you have, test your magical capability. There is also a room with a big metal door that has a lot of scratches on the inside that you pass without a second thought, because you haven't been there in years. You've been taking care of it. You've been controlling yourself incredibly well. The meditation's been working. It's about an hour later when Cade turns to you after practicing cantrips, imbuing the magic into the wraps, imbuing the magic into your hands, punching techniques, same stuff your mother taught you, running through the drills over and over again. Okay. Azuka, Cade rarely goes full name. He's normally always Azu. I think you're doing well. Really well. You've grown so controlled over this. And you can tell there's a little bit of nervousness in him, something that you haven't seen him like this before. He's normally very calm, collected, knowledgeable.
Is everything okay, Cade? You're not going to die on me. Is that what you're saying? And I lean up against, let's take a seat. Is this how you're breaking it to me?
I have 2 months. No, you fool. I am fine. Okay. I just have to go on a trip and I'm worried about leaving you alone, okay?
You don't need to worry. I've been coping. I'm okay.
Okay. I'm probably going to be gone for a month or two. He kind of takes you over to this little bench that has a long map of the United States on it. It's no secret I've been doing research on the tear. So, 40, 50 years ago, giant tear in the sky opened up and our two worlds merged.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the root cause of it, see if there's anything I can do to reconnect us to the old world. But so far, I've kind of been hitting dead ends. Recently, though, a friend of mine, a very, very capable Earth Elemental, brought me some documents that showed that there was a lead for me in New York City. They have an emerald there that we think the properties of could help, I guess, me deduce the nature of planar disturbances. It's interesting, but I'm close. I'm excited.
I mean, That's awesome. I will say it seems unfortunate it's in New York. Apparently, even before the tear, it wasn't a great place. But why can't I just come with? I have nothing really left to do here. My mum's are fine running the diner on their own for a bit.
Putting you out into the world with the dangers that are there. You know, Los Angeles is incredibly safe. They were able to survive very quickly. When the tear happened, there were plans in the city to build these freeways, highways. They had cleared the space and had been ready to start building. But then when the tear happened and the orcs and monsters and devils came running through, they used that to quickly build up walls, so they were one of the lucky ones who were able to get ahead of it all. Out there, things are unpredictable. And if your emotions go wild, trying to protect yourself in a survival situation, your adrenaline might trigger something. We've never seen you in a true life or death scenario. And the last time that happened, the last time you feared for your life, and he looks at your arm and your tail, and
Yeah.
damage was done I couldn't undo.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
You are very capable. You're very strong. You can defend yourself. I know that. But I worry about putting you in that scenario. So do not take this, as I don't think you're capable.
Yeah.
And I'm much faster by myself. Okay?
Okay,
Alright.
old man. Sure,
Hey,
whatever.
Hey, it's just one bum leg, okay? So you look and you see this almost metal foot on Cade, and actually you know the history of what happened when Cade first came here. He's told you in the past Cade is a very powerful wizard, very capable. He tried to plane shift back to the old world, recognizing that he had entered into a new plane. He thought, well, this is weird. Time to go home. And when attempting that plane shift is a very dangerous spell if you don't know where you're going. His arm and his leg were completely ripped off. He was left crippled, and his ability to manipulate the weave and arcana in the world had shifted drastically. So his right arm and his right leg are both these arcane constructs of armor and artifice. Keep himself mobile, but he still has a bit of a limp, still walks with a bit of hurt. Definitely uses that cane. But that being said, friend, I have some people that I think can help us. And while I'm gone, I'd like you to, in times of trouble, lean on them.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You haven't led me astray so far. Who are these friends?
One of them...
Oh, we
deals with
Hey.
ruins.
We lost you for a second there.
Yeah.
We good?
All we heard was one of them. That's all we heard.
We good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
hear
think
you
so.
now.
Okay. One of them is my friend Mintala. He is an earth elemental, good with magic. He's been dealing with runes and ruins outside of the city. He's a scout for the Los Angeles, for the SWAT team. SWAT in this world is special weapons and arcane tactics. Very fun thing. The other is a friend of mine, Chuck. And we've built a relationship over the years, and he has the capability, I feel like, to watch over you in case of a drastic scenario. He has facilities and other capabilities. So,
Drastic scenarios, you mean if I lose control?
yeah.
Fair.
I don't see that happening, but you know I have to prepare for every
Okay, that's
eventuality.
fine. I understand, yeah. No.
Okay.
It's best to be safe than sorry.
Perfect. Glad you understand. But good day today. Go ahead and head on home. I'll meet you back on the diner later tonight.
Sounds good. When you shop at a diner, do you want anything? I can have something prepared for you before, just for you to arrive.
Do you think Chi-Chi has enough of the French toast?
Oh, Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll see you later.
All right, I'll see you there.
And I will head out with my bike and cycle down the hill, I guess.
Perfect.
Back home.
So we'll see, as all of us, we'll paint a picture through a camera. Azu is biking away towards the street, leading away from the Griffith Observatory. Camera flies up into the sky, and then comes back down outside the walls, relatively close. We go into this old abandoned house where the entire backside of it seems to have been ripped apart, and some sections of it clean cut, as if someone just deleted the entire section of ground right there. And in its place is this old stone staircase leading down into a marbled tunnel. Leads through a section you can see holes in the walls and spikes on the other side. Moving further, you see torches and old runic lettering along the top. Going in further, you hear this of these large steps of an earth elemental walking his way down this tunnel. Mintala, would you like to describe yourself?
So, Mintala is a normal human height, but oddly proportioned and very wide being made of a sort of mix of all different kinds of, I guess, processed stone would maybe be the way to put it. There's cement and there's bricks, like fragments and even whole bricks sticking out of him, and just all sorts of just chunks of like buildings. It looks like someone just went into a particularly, disastrous construction site and just scooped up all of the spare materials and just fashioned them into a vague humanoid shape. And there's all sorts of weird things sticking out of him, bits of like plumbing and like brackets, and like there's a shovel sticking out of his shoulder. And it's just like, it's very chaotic, but it does form a being that can, that has locomotion and arms and a sort of face with deep sort of holes for eyes that a red glow emanates from. And there's like a mouth formed and things like that. One hand is particularly sort of large and chunky, made of big solid blocks, and the other one has sort of shards of a window and bits of rebar sort of sticking out of it, with something liquid and not healthy looking sort of, coating it and dripping. And in the center of his chest is a sort of little bit of a divot, and inside that is a glowing sort of heart-like object that is just giving off a bright light illuminating the space in front of him. And in front of that is a red symbol that's just kind of floating just a little bit in front of that heart, which is 2 filled circles and 2 rings in a square that kind of like bob around a bit in relation to each other as he walks along.
Perfect. Would you make for me a perception check for the ruins around you?
Okay. Familiarizing myself with the sheets. There it is.
Ooh,
21.
21.
13 on
Perfect.
the dice.
So with that, you notice one panel on the right-hand side in the stonework seems to have this divot around the outside of it, almost like a pressure plate that you can push in. You walk up, put your giant hand on it, just as it shoves into the wall, and you see one of the walls on the far side starts to open up. And this is a ruin that other people have been in before. It's not something, it's relatively close to the walls, but you have a specialty and a history inside these ruins. You are trusted to go in and find things that other people have missed. So you go into this nearby room, and inside is just a chest.
It's like the moment of contemplation as this looks a little bit suspicious.
Almost, right? Just a little bit easy.
We'll slowly lumber over and sort of lean down and take a look at it and see if I can spot any, like, mechanisms or traps on this thing.
Roll me, let's see. I'm also familiarizing myself with Pathfinder. I'm trying to think of something that would be
Yeah, I'm like,
akin
wait a
to
minute, there's no investigation. What do I
yeah,
roll?
that was my thought too. I guess we'd have to go with so we could either do another perception.
Well,
I
you
feel
can
like
do
we'd
perception with different things. So you can you can perceive with like occultism, or
Okay.
it's very interesting. I don't know if you've.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You can drop down and choose.
There's a drop
different-
down, and you can
yeah.
pick the type of perceiving you're doing.
Yeah.
Where do you see a drop down?
In
It's
the
on the-
perception
on the
box
character
next
sheets.
to yeah.
Okay.
In the perception
Oh,
box.
I like that. Yeah, let's go perception with survival.
All right. I think ends up the same as normal. Nice.
Okay.
19. 11.
There's
on
probably,
dice.
if anything, you add in a bonus to it. Yeah, with a 19, you definitely notice that there are these slight runes around the carving of the chest that lead you to believe that it does trigger something when opened. And with your large hand, you're able to just shove your nail right into it and just drag it across the top, destroying the runes. And when that happens, you see around it in a ring structure, there's this flame of just as this trap seemingly disarmed. So you pop open the chest, and inside is just probably 75 gold. Looks like a couple of jewels. You see some precious stones like rubies and sapphires. You made a deal with an informant to split 50-50, whatever you're able to find here. You have people, you've done this for long enough that you have adventurers who will come to you and be like, hey man, found these ruins on the outside. To let you know where it's at, we'll make a little deal about this, okay? With that, you're able to pick up the entire chest as a whole and start walking back to the city.
Just over his shoulder. Boom.
Oh, it's nothing to you. Your strength is really good.
As I head out, I go, nicely done.
Heck yeah, it's a good day. It's a good find. Many days you go out and you don't find anything, but this is a solid haul. On the way back in, you get to these large concrete walls with one section of them that seems to be almost sheet metal. You walk up and there's a person up top who goes, hey man, you find anything good in there?
It's a good day. And I like hold up the chest.
Oh, perfect. You're getting the drinks then, right? Yeah?
I thought it was your turn.
I mean, yeah, you don't drink, but it doesn't mean that it means every time is my turn. Like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. All right, it's men. Let them in. As these large gates just open up. You've done this 100 times. As you come back in, they check what you have, make sure you're not bringing anything dangerous into the city. They take a look at the chest. You meet up with this little halfling man who has this one little like monocle with a little runic inscription on it and this like big overcoat on. It's like, hey, so Min, anything good in there? What'd you find?
A whole bunch of gems.
Gems, no kidding. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. Okay, I got a jeweler in downtown. He could probably give us some good money for it. Okay? You got time now? Do you want me to take you there?
I've got the
Okay.
time.
You got time? Perfect. Okay. Don't worry. It's only like 30. You're pretty big. You're slow. You're kind of slow. Maybe 45-minute walk. Okay. Just come with me. So you in this... The juxtaposition of your large stature and a little halfling man is an oddity to say the least when walking down the street. You're not unaccustomed to the odd glance and stare from people who have never seen you before. But surprisingly, the smile of children. You're very much this amusing thing. You're not something that is innately intimidating, but just very like, that's different. So you go downtown and you find a place called the Cat's Eye, which is this almost hole-in-the-wall jeweler shop that has like one window cracked but not broken, so why fix it up? You go inside and there is this half-elf behind a large glass case of different gems and diamonds and jewels, most of which you recognize as the halfling man probably took other stuff that you have given him and brought it here. He goes, "Hey, old Frankie, we got something good here today." And then the half-elf man behind the case goes, "All right, Thomas, what'd you bring me?" And he kind of like shakes his hands, rubs them together, and he goes, "Outside." And then you step into the door, and he goes, "Oh, Christ. Oh, is this the big guy you've been telling me about?" "Well, sir, let me just thank you as somebody who purveys your fine gathered materials. What you got for me today?"
Good stuff. Old world, untouched.
"No kid."
Gems and other shiny things.
"Well, if that's not the best news that I've heard today, dump it out into the counter. Let's see what I can get you guys."
I'll pop out all the stuff. I'll make sure none of it spills. I'm like, I'm keeping an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my haul.
And he's very much just like looking inside the chest to make sure there's nothing like left in it. He's like, "You wouldn't be holding out. I trust you. If Thomas trusts you, I got you back." Well, let's see here. He takes a second.
Never let him down.
Yeah, this guy's fucking great. Let me tell you about that. So the half-elf man takes about 5 to 10 minutes to count out all of the jewels. And all right, with all of this, I'll probably give you about... the gold is yours. Obviously, I'm only here for the jewels. So you can go ahead and add in 25 gold onto your character sheet.
All right.
As well as 35 gold for the gems that were purchased.
Awesome.
All right. And that's about the best I can do for you. This stuff is rather precious, but unfortunately times are tight for me.
From my assessment, was it like a fair deal?
It's about 80% of what you would expect.
Okay. Well, hopefully when times are better, the share's a little better too.
I'll do the best I can, friend.
When I make a deal, I stick to it. As long as you do, we're good.
And Thomas, you're like, yeah, buddy. Come on. He's a friend of mine. I trust you. You trust me, right? Yeah, big guy.
We're good.
All right. Well, I'll meet up with you if I have anything more for you, okay? All right, so why don't we get you go and do what you do? I'm going to stay here for a bit. All right?
All right.
As you're leaving...
If you need me, you can probably see me in the distance.
All right, don't worry. Just stick by the walls, and if I see one of the other walls in town moving, I know it's you. Okay. As you're leaving...
sidling through the door.
Make me a perception check on the way out.
Okay. $21. 13 on the dice.
Okay, let's see here. Oh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
As you leave, you hear their voices coming through the glass, crack, there's some holes, and they're talking loudly. Now, can you fucking believe this, schmuck? The dude has no clue what this stuff is worth. There's about 200 gold here worth of gems. Jesus, Frank, this could be some good stuff. So, how do you react when you hear something like that? As you're just leaving?
When he starts to hear that, he sort of comes to a slow halt, and the crunching and grinding of his limbs moving stops, and he listens.
See.
And then I think he sort of cocks his head and sort of looks. His eyes are just like holes with lights, but it's like he's just kind of looking nowhere.
Mm-hmm. You hear Frank, the half-elf. That's perfect. I know an artificer downtown who'd pay very handsomely for some of these gems. These are near magic quality, my god.
After cocking his head, there's like a nod. And then he turns around and he lumbers back through the door.
Hey, big guy, did you forget something? Did you miss your chest? You kind of just left it there on the counter.
You can't see them, but I still have ears.
Yeah, you're very good ears, man. Very good ears. Keeps you alive in those ruins, right?
You heard what I said about fair deals.
Yeah, you know me. You know me, buddy. I always give you the fair deal.
100 gold. Half. As agreed.
Buddy, you're killing me here. Come on. You think I would lie to you about this stuff? Even Frank backs me up on this. I'm telling you, buddy. This is a good price.
A step forward, towering over this. Wait, it's my friend the halfling that we're like, yeah. So I step towards him and I'm towering over him, and like by his head, like a greenish drip comes off the one of the sharp ends of his right hand.
Ooh, make me an intimidation check.
Unfortunately, I'm not trained in this. A 7.
Ooh.
8 on the dice.
We have a -1? You said 8 on the dice, but you rolled 7? Ooh.
There's shenanigans.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's reasons.
Because of your physique, I want to say you're using your body as an intimidation tactic here. It's not your words that's doing this. So I want to remove the charisma side of this. So can you do it again, but this time add in either your strength or constitution? I feel like that's a good representation of your physicality.
Okay. I will add the strength. Once I work out how.
You can just roll a strength check if you'd like.
If you hit the gear fob, you can easily
Yeah, you can
change
swap.
the stat.
You can swap.
I'll do a strength check. It's because it's the same. Oh, 7 on the dice, 11.
Okay, then I'm gonna roll. Is there like an insight? Still be like perception.
Would it be a will save?
You can do a will save. Yeah. Okay, it's close. Hey, Min. I don't know why you're trying to shake me down with this. We've been friends for years, but I've led you to dozens of these ruins. Come on. You really think... where's this coming from?
I heard you when I left.
You see kind of like the friendly kind of like facade just... Okay, friend. You heard nothing. And if you want to keep getting jobs from me, to keep that little shanty roof over your head, that little wreck that you call an apartment, look, we both know the deal out here. Takes a lot more for me to get this information, and I've got friends in places. So if you want to keep working, gonna thump out that door, okay?
I have other sources of work.
None as good as me, pal.
And you don't have a scout as good as me.
I can find folks. People dumb enough to listen, like you've been. What are you gonna do? We're in the city. You gonna hit me? I'll get the gods. Get you thrown out, you giant monster. You think people trust you here? Think people like you?
Sort of an extended pause where Mintala just doesn't move.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Come on, Thumper. Start walking. And maybe I'll see you again when I have something worth it. Okay?
Count yourself lucky that today I'd rather not make a scene.
Well, why don't you go return to that scene of an apartment? A little shanty town home. And
Good luck
I
with
won't
your
see
new
you.
scouts. They'll have their heads blown off in a week.
Look, if they go out there and they fall, that's up to them. I could send more people after the stuff. That's why I don't go out there myself. 'Cause I got schmucks like you who are willing to go out into that danger. Come back for... Want to go? People risk their life for that. I don't care how many go out there, because someone's going to come back. That ain't no blood coming from me. Just time. And I got time, buddy. All the time.
Keep telling yourself that, and I leave.
Oof. So you thump, thump, thump out the door. After something like that, what do you do? What is your response? Do you go home? Do you go out?
Like as he's walking, he's just staring forward and seems deep in thought about something. I think ultimately he goes home to his scene of an apartment.
So when you go into the front door of your apartment, and to be fair, it's a fully functioning building. It is not this little shanty town. It's not a shack, but when you go inside, you see you have your setup. You have your created replicas of an entire apartment. You have your scaled down version. Because for you, you enjoy the building of these scenes, right? Would you like to describe the apartment to us?
Yeah, it's a little bit run down in places. I mean, it's definitely messy. There's definitely dust and stray bits of gravel and I imagine he's probably got a ground floor place that's got like a concrete floor just so that he doesn't go through it ever.
100%.
And it's all like scraped up and so in that sense, like floor wise, it's a mess and it is very sort of dusty and it's like the horrible sort of lots of the horrible gritty building dust that you get.
You have like a little piece of rebar that like sticks through the bottom of your foot, so you have like little tracks in the ground of like the pattern of how you exist in there.
Yeah, landlord hates me.
Yeah, landlord. That's a fun concept in this world. So you definitely came upon this place when you first got here, however many years ago that was.
Okay, so I just occupied it.
Oh yeah, there are enough still abandoned homes within the Los Angeles safe zone that people can just kind of grab a space. If they want a bigger house, they go and find a bigger house and take care of it. People are not wanting for property. What they do look for is safety. So a lot of people that want someplace safe go to center of town, go to where it's more populated. If you're a capable adventurer, if you're capable of defending yourself, you can be anywhere in the city, out in the outskirts, doesn't matter. If something happens, you can fight for yourself. But that does lead to more expensive things and kind of like the usual society of landlords back towards the center of town.
And I think like there's lots of big open space for him to move through, and then there is sort of a bedroom sort of room, though there isn't a bed. It's just like a space where he just kind of sits down and goes quiet for a while. I think he sleeps. I'm not sure. So? I think he sleeps.
Okay, I was very curious how you were going to do an Earth Elemental's bed.
Yeah, it was
like a double king.
I think basically he just picks a spot and he just kind of hunkers down and becomes a pile of rocks for a while, and then I don't think he like deforms, but like he just crumples down a bit into a sort of just like pile and just relaxes. Whatever forces are required to keep him, defying gravity.
So he metaphorically and physically decompresses and relaxes.
Yeah. He just kind of like hunkers down and like if you weren't paying attention, you'd be just like, oh, why is there a giant pile of assorted masonry in the middle of this room?
Did someone kind of start making a statue over there?
Yeah, and then also in filling up kind of half of that room is a giant sort of scale replica apartment block. It's not like exactly identical to this one, but it's that kind of style. It's a very weird thing. It's like the inside is sort of very neatly done and there's like little furniture made and stuff like that, like a sort of dollhouse kind of situation. The outside's kind of a little bit more just kind of drab and doesn't seem like it's been done yet, but like the inside is all like sorted and set
Okay.
up and looks very nice.
Very cool.
And I think like shortly after arriving, it's like you see like a door shuts, and then you it's like an outside shot like of the windows, and you see like the light moving around and stuff, and you hear like and
You just hear-
other weird noises, and it just like unhappy sounds. like he was just staying quiet and just keeping to himself as he went home, and then he got home, and it's like
Why don't they like me?
and just
Okay.
like stomping about and moving, and the lights moving all over the place, and just noises, and maybe a spell or two goes off.
Perfect. I love it.
Non-fire ones.
As this like emotional release is happening for you, an older car, probably something from the 20s, pulls up out front, and an elven man in a 3-piece black suit with a runic cane steps out. He walks over to you. Oh, walks over to the door, should say. Just knocks on it, kind of takes a step back and just kind of waits.
Shuffling and stone grinding noises, and after a moment, he arrives at the door, opens it.
Hey,
Oh,
man.
Kate, I was planning to call you.
That's nothing to worry about. I do, however, have something that I'd like to discuss with you. Do you mind if
Good.
I strip in for a moment?
Step aside and gesture in, and I imagine for this purpose there is like normal human furniture in
Yeah.
the
This is not-
living room as well.
This is not the first time Cade has shown up to your house, and maybe the first time there wasn't any furniture, but you've since gotten it, but there is still a layer of dust over it for the lack of use. And
Yeah,
Cade
it's,
kinda walks
it's like
in.
I walk over to the sofa and I like try and sweep off the gravel dust, but I leave new gravel dust because it just comes off me all the time.
I love it. And Cage goes, man, the air quality, there's so much dust here. Like, are you, I guess that doesn't really matter for you. Do you breathe? Sorry, distraction of thoughts. Kind of taps his cane against the ground, and all the dust in the air kind of like levitates off everything and kind of comes together and condenses. And he just kind of grabs it, and this little ball of dirt comes into his hand. It's like a handful. Oh, he goes and sits down on the chair. I have a pretty big ask of you, friend.
You know what? That sounds perfect.
Yeah? I haven't even told you what it is yet.
I might need to be busy with other things for a while. I had an arrangement just fall through.
Are you okay? Is everything, like, good?
We carry on.
Yes, we do. I have a associate, a protege, if you will, that I've been training in town, and I have to leave on some business for a while. In my absence, I would enjoy a little bit of comfort knowing that you were looking over them. It's, their name is Azuka. They live nearer the outskirts. Their parents run the Delicious Sunrise, the diner over on the far side. They've been, I've been teaching them the ways of magic for a while now, and you are incredibly capable when it comes to dealing with that. And you see him like kind of nervous in this asking. It's like, I care for them very much. They've become similar to family to me, and I'm going to be gone for about 2 months, and I would like, if anything was to happen, for you to be watching over them.
I can do that. Are you expecting trouble?
No, not expecting, but you know me, I like to be prepared. They are their magic is a little erratic. When they attempt to access it, there could be side effects that are undesirable.
You might need them protecting from the consequences of their actions.
Exactly. And you won't be alone. I have a friend who I'm actually going to be picking up on the way who will be aiding us with this. But I can pay you. I can set you up in the house nearby. Shame to leave this, but I mean, I can bring your dollhouse if you'd like.
Actually living elsewhere might be a good idea, just in case.
Okay. Cool.
The arrangement ended somewhat explosively.
Like, literally, was there an explosion? Are they okay? Are you okay?
Not yet. We'll see.
Okay. Then maybe this
They
is
had
best.
some big talk. It might just be talk.
Well, if anything happens, I know you are more than capable of taking care of yourself. So, I can pay you. I can, make sure when I come back from my trip, how about 500 gold for your time and for potential fall through?
It's a deal.
I know I can count on you. All right, let's get in the car. Are you okay with leaving now? I can take you to meet him.
We can go now.
Perfect. Do you want me to, do you have things to bring? Is it just, like, he kind of looks around. Anything you need to be set up in the other place? I mean, I can.
Not really.
Okay.
Like, hold up like a... It's something that contains his gold. Is like a bag or it's a wallet or something, and just jingles it, shrugs, and wedges it back in in a corner of, there's like a bit of rebar sticking out that it perches on.
Perfect. Put it all together, center of the room. So you take a second, you gather the dollhouse that you have, you gather your gold and all your stuff, and you see Cade pick up his hand and start tracing a 3D cube. And as he does it, you see these purple blue lines, neon lines appear in the air and surround it. And as he puts his hand to the side and claps them together, it physically shrinks down to about the size of your palm. Takes it, puts it inside a bag, and goes, all right, anything else you need to move?
Nice trick. I think we're good.
Perfect. Well, let's go. So you walk outside. There's this old Ford. Open it up. The doors open up both in the same directions, and the seats inside are actually facing each other. There's no steering wheel, no pedals, nothing. He goes in and sits in one side and kind of gestures for you to come in.
I wedge in. It's I'm still a normal person height, so I can get in there, but I imagine I take both seats on one side.
So as you go to step in, you put one hand on top and you put one foot on the sidebar to lean yourself in, and the entire car just leans over to one side. He goes, right. Draws a little symbol in the air and taps you, and then suddenly the car goes and kind of rights itself as he kind of lessens the effect of gravity on you. You take up the entire side of one car by yourself, shoulder to shoulder, to the back seat as the car drives away. Camera pans up and we go to the sky, into the clouds, flies over closer to the center of town. As we come down, it's a normal suburban street. We see a 2-bedroom house with wooden slat paneling along the inside, a leather chair facing away from us, and a wall of photos. At the top, you see one from the 30s of a man with his wife enjoying becoming married. Below that is a man being shipped off to war. Below that is a man on the trenches of Normandy. And that's where the photographs stop. You see an axe. See an old M1 Garand with the magazine, the clip not in it, rusted over, the wood not taken care of. See a little TV with Pinocchio running. And you go back and you see this old man, shorter man, probably around 5'4", with a long grayish white beard, center bald, but a man who looks hardened. And he's just, and you hear this of a ratchet off to the back. So he stands up, he goes, "Hey, Chuck! You doing okay out there?"
You probably just still hear the ratchet.
I'm gonna get you some lemonade. This old man walks into the kitchen, opens up a fridge, pulls out a pitcher, pours it into a glass, puts it on a tray, and starts walking out. As he enters into this garage, standard materials, there's this old, repurposed truck that has this rust forming along the outside. The headlight on the left-hand side is just a little loose with the wires showing, but the interior has nice leather seating with only a few holes. As he walks around the front, you look down and you see legs and a nice suit pants and nice shoes underneath the car. And one hand, another hand goes under the front of the bumper and pulls himself out on a skid plate. Chuck, would you like to describe yourself?
He's in a very expensive suit. The jacket is not on. His tie is a little loose. You can see oil stains down the one side of his suit, and his sleeves are rolled up. He's got some silver streaks in his hair, but mostly his hair is black. He's about 58 years old. Real lean guy, but looks very well put together. Like, has money, and probably a lot of it.
Chuck, I gotta thank you somehow for the work you're doing on Betsy here. I got one of those magazines from before the war. One of them Hugh Hefner types. I could give it to you. I found an old stack. It keeps me up at night.
It's really no problem. The work is reward enough. Besides the fact, it's been a long time since I've seen one of these on the road.
It's a classic. When I got here, I was surprised it was outside. And when she ran, oh man, made me happy. It reminded me of Dolores. It was a good time. We spent a lot of time driving. And he starts going off in this long, extended story, as those who have lived a long life normally do. Starts telling with very emotional passion about his history, and it's kind of going on. It's been about 5 minutes of him going on about this story of him going through the country with his wife and the dates and the pie at the diner. And you're just kind of like, actually, how does Chuck respond when somebody goes on and on and on about a story?
He's kind of staring blankly at him, and then as he continues on, Chuck starts looking at his tools and kind of slowly lays back down with setting the lemonade down and starts sliding back under the hood of the car.
Okay, you're right. You got to get back to work. Who am I to be distracting you with tales of an old man?
No, keep talking. Yeah.
And then we hit the war. It was about 1939. I went to the beaches. Oh, the rush, the adrenaline.
Hey, can you hit the starter real quick? I want to see if this bad boy will turn over right now.
Walks over to the front and here's this. Now?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 3. Starts it. Flares to life. And you just have that. You see that the engine rumbles a little bit, but this is one of those cars that this thing could be bumping around for the next 20 years and still not fall apart.
Well, at least now it's not leaking oil or burning oil, and it'll last you a while. It's gonna stick around.
You know, this car is going to outlast me, and if I swear to God, if you don't take it when I die, well, I'll be sad, but I won't care. How... Chuck, I gotta thank you for this.
You got me lemonade. That's good enough.
This is actually Dolores' recipe. She found it in a French cafe back in 32.
You know what? I'll take the recipe. How about that?
You know what? I feel like that's appropriate.
Do you mind if I wash up a little bit inside before I take off? I got some grease on my hands.
Of course. Yeah. Fine. Of course. I know a place downtown. I could take your suit. I could get it laundered for you.
I've got like 100 other ones. Don't even worry about it.
You got 100 suits like oh, fine by me. So, you clean yourself up. You get ready to go. You walk outside a little bit down the way. Go ahead.
As he walks into the house, Chuck pauses before he washes his hands and kind of looks around. This house is familiar to him, but it's different. It looks different. The inside is different. It's been a long time since he's been there. And without even instruction, he knows exactly where the bathroom is and goes and washes up.
You walk through the house. Memories. Something similar. So, you finish washing up, cleaning yourself off. You walk outside. Which car did you take today? Got a couple. Let's see.
Oh, probably my favorite. Trying to remember which one that is.
Are we talking the single person hot rod? Are we talking the Jaguar?
It would be the Jaguar.
All right, so you go outside.
No, it's the Bugatti. Bugatti Type 35B Grand Prix.
So you go outside and you see a Bugatti. Would you like to describe the coloring or anything? Like this nice little finishes that might be on it?
Oh, it's white walled tires, black car, white hood with a red undercarriage that you can kind of see by the front wheels. It shines. Even in just the pale light of a street light, it's got a shine to it with a gold, pure gold grill with a bullet as the hood piece.
Full. So you get inside and you start driving home, and as you see the old man walks down his driveway and sees the car you get into and goes, oh, holy as you drive away. Where do you go? What are you doing?
I'm heading home. It's been a long night. Was glad to get out of that social gathering and end up at swinging by the place and seeing something to work on.
So you leave this gala, go to this old man's house. Now you're driving home. You drive up to this large building, maybe 5 stories tall, drive into the side lot, go into the back door opens up, and you go down into a garage. Shutters close behind you. And in this garage lot, this place you fixed up a lot of cars. You see all of your old tools, everything that you would need. What do you plan on doing for the rest of the night? What's your thought? What are you here for? How do you decompress after a gala, after something like this?
Well, he did what he decompresses. He worked on a car. He worked on mechanics. So
you have the confidence that comes with doing a good job, that satisfaction of helping someone. You step out, you go in, you see the other cars lined up. Excuse me, sir. It's nice to see you home.
Yeah.
How was the gala?
Oh, I ran into an old man working on a car. Got to work on that. You know, they talk a lot, but plenty of stories to tell. Oh, the gala. People were there. There was talking, food, wine, whatever.
Per the usual.
A lot of people asking me for money or plain like they always want something from me.
Everybody wants a bullet for them, you know. Everybody's coming to get their ammo.
You know, you don't have to play on my company's name all the time.
I try to have some fun here. Look. What would you like? Can I get you any dinner?
You know what? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Also, here's a lemonade recipe. It was really good. Better than yours.
I highly doubt that. I was trained for many years by fine chefs.
Yeah,
Takes
well,
it from you.
sometimes that's the problem.
Oh, limes. Bouncy acidity. That much sugar? This is severely unhealthy for you, sir. With this alone, it might shorten your lifespan by like 2 or 3 years.
I don't think I have anything to worry about on that front.
Well, I will go whip you up some dinner and a lemonade. So, your butler, Percy, turns around and walks over. Where shall I find you for everything?
Find me in the Smith room.
Yes, sir. Goes up, takes an elevator straight, disappears from sight. After you finish up cleaning off the car a little bit, putting some things away, you also make your way to the elevator and up to the smithing floor. As you step outside, you have your anvil, you have your very fancy bullet press, you have raw materials, and every tool that you have ever custom made for your specific purposes. And you start hemming an array on a project.
No, he walks to the back corner. It's a little dusty. An area covered by a drapery. Pulls it back, pushes against the wall, and opens a secret door.
Little panel slides in and over, going into this unseen back section hidden from the world.
In this section is it's a very small room, but it's got this bulletin board of lines connecting this way and that way, papers strewn about. It's dusty. It's been a long time since he's been in there. And he pulls a picture off the wall and just kind of stares at it. And it's an old picture when he was really little, of him and his parents.
Is there a specific place that they would be? In front of something? At an amusement park?
It resembles the same kind of house that he was just in.
That's strange. The same 2-bedroom house.
Just a couch in the living room.
Old photo of a loving family from back in the day. A surprisingly old photo for you, actually. It seems that if this was to be the actuality, it's been some time.
Yeah.
As this reminiscing occurs, the papers, the dust finally being disturbed from the introduction of new air into this old sealed room. You hear this from a little box on the side of the wall, the little intercom system that you have set up with your butler.
What is it, Percy?
Sir, you do have a call from a Mr. Halbin.
Oh, he called this time? Didn't just show up?
Yes, it seems the conversation you had with him previously about operating within the bounds of this building has actually taken effect.
That's a surprise. I fully expected him to already be in the room I'm in now. What's he want this time?
He is actually, for the first time, requesting permission to come up to the penthouse to have a conversation with you.
So he is here. He just called once he arrived. Let him in.
I don't know, sir. He says he could be here within a time. Is there a time that you would prefer for me to have him come in, or?
No, just tell him. Just pull him to the courtyard.
Tell him now is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to meet up in the penthouse or downstairs?
Is it just him? Does he have company? What?
What
do I pay you for, Percy? Come on.
I'm sorry, sir. I did not feel that it was within the requirements for me to ask the amount of people that were making a call towards entering your premises. I thought that you would be able to determine by yourself whether or not you would enjoy the company of a man that you have known for many years. My apologies. I'll take it the penthouse will be preferable. I'll make sure that it is ready for guests.
Thank you.
All right. Dinner is ready in 5. So, 5 minutes passes. Go up to the penthouse. And there's this beautiful steak, potatoes, lemonade, the fixings, everything's delicious. And as you finish up, there's the phone connected to the wall. It starts ringing. Percy goes and picks it up. Yes. Yes, you can connect him. Ah, Mr. Halvin, it's wonderful to hear from you again. Yes. Yes, Mr. Spadina is expecting you. Fantastic. We will see you momentarily. As the conversation ends, there is now a large earth elemental on the penthouse floor, dirt being tracked in with his footsteps, and Cade is sitting there as if nothing had happened, staring at you. See, I called ahead this time.
Real far ahead.
Is it carpet?
Oh, yeah. It's a rug. It's a nice rug onto, like, marble floor.
Percy, no need to worry about.
No, I'm sorry. There's dust in the. My apologies.
It seems it is what you are, so it does not bother me at all.
Good.
Good to see you again, Chuck.
I would say the same, but it seems you brought a mess into my house.
Are you really complaining about a mess? Have you seen your smithing room? The amount of dust on there can make another one of him.
He's still wearing his kind of greasy clothes, too.
Oh, did you actually have a spill? Were you working on your cars in that?
It wasn't my car. It was a
Look
much
at
nicer
you.
car, if you ask me. Pretty regular.
Look at you doing something for somebody else. How much did
Either
they have
way.
to pay to get the Chuck Spadina special on their tune-up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I only charge my friends, you know.
that makes sense. With the amount that you've charged me for many a thing. But nothing to worry about. So you guys have this rapport built up over many years of working together. You have this little jeering friendship. He kind of looks at the tracks that Min has left and just has this chuckle and sits down in the couch behind him.
Don't worry, Percy, I'll clean it up. You don't need to worry about it.
Oh, sir, that would be so lovely for you to pick up a mess of your own. Thank you for giving me the night off.
It's not my mess.
This is your abode. Therefore, you are responsible for any persons that do come into it that you have accepted as guests. That is the
Percy-
proper way, sir. Do not forget, you're part of high society, and with that comes regulations.
As you always remind me.
Well, sir, you do need reminding.
Well, sir, you do need to leave.
Right away, sir. So, another big smile. Leaves.
I would offer you a seat, but I'm afraid you would break most of mine.
I usually do. It's fine. So is the lower weight spell still in effect?
Probably, otherwise the elevator would have had a problem.
You can try? Maybe.
Best not.
There is no
Already caused enough
physical-
strife simply by existing in this room. Not gonna try and, push my luck at all.
There is no like residual like particles or particulates that show any energy of a gravity spell of any kind on you. So you assume no, but we'll see.
Okay. Play it safe, and I will just stand at a place at the table.
Okay.
Would you like something to eat? Maybe a glass of lemonade. And he literally offers his own.
Actually, that would be amazing. Thank you. Takes the lemonade, takes a drink. That's sweet. Very good. Those limes. Interesting take. Puts it to the side. Chuck, I have to ask you something.
What do you need this time?
This is not for the agency. This is not for the city. This is a personal request coming from a friend. And you can see his demeanor change from like that, the business side of things, to just. I need your help.
Shit, that kind.
It's potential. If things go very wrong.
You know, it's been years since I've touched those things.
I know. I'm just asking for you to look out for somebody who I feel needs a little protection.
Am I looking out for them?
And those around them.
So they're a potential threat too.
Things can go either way.
Fun. At least it's interesting this time.
It is my hope that there's nothing that you need to do. I just need to go away on a trip. I'll be back. 2 months, if that.
That's a long time.
I know this is a big ask, and you are a busy person with a lot to do.
Yeah, so busy that I'm bored all the time.
You were at a gala earlier today. You had a movie premiere the other night.
Boring.
You had dinner with the mayor on... What do you mean? Is it something I can ask of you?
Yeah, it'll cost you.
It always costs me. But we'll work that out. I can make something for you. We can do something together.
What kind of arrangements do they need?
Just need somebody to watch out for them.
So a standard bedroom.
Yeah. Someplace nearby, preferably. You don't need to be there every day. Maybe check in. You don't need to stay there. Maybe check in once a day. Just to make sure that things are okay. It's a protege of mine. Learning magic. You know how finicky magic can be. If they attempt something silly, I'd rather somebody I trust, like you and... I'm so sorry. Mintala, meet Chuck.
Hi.
So,
Good to know you have a name other than large mass of dirt.
Chuck. Can we be a little cordial?
This is funny.
You have a sense of humor that is fairly unique.
I would shake your hand, but it seems like I'd get a... Well, they look pretty sharp.
You meant you're muted.
You're muted for us, Bentham.
Damn it, sorry. Yeah, I was, I forgot what I said, but I was responding.
Mhm.
But, yeah, it's like he waves and says hi, and then it's like, yeah, probably best. Just a nod. It's
Yeah.
fine.
There is a diner on the far side of town, the Delicious Sunrise. There are rooms and a house across from that. You and Mintala will split the month. Mintala will be living there. You can pop in as you need from time to time to check on my protege across the street. It's not the
So we're going to him instead of... I fully expected I'd have to buy another house for you.
Come on. Did you have to add another one? It was one time that I asked you to get a place for a friend, and
How long you know this guy?
a while, years.
No, I was asking him about you.
Also asking me about Cade.
Cade, yeah.
Years. I trust him.
See, some people trust me, Chuck.
I never said I didn't trust you. I just trust that you're gonna need something from me.
Oh, who doesn't need things from time to time? Especially if a man in your position.
Does this thing need to stay with me as well?
This thing, this earth elemental, a construct of magic, new to this
But
world. A literally
there's
construct
definitely, like-
construct.
It's a different sort of form, but you see the eyes kind of like raise as if eyebrows were raising. And that's this thing.
You'll be fine. And try to make a friend, Chuck. Just once.
Thought I have Percy.
Right. The person you pay to be your friend.
He seems to like me well enough. He cleans up after me.
What a low bar to trip on. I'm glad I consider you a friend. I mean, maybe? I know, it's been 30 years. But will you do what I need?
It's taken care of.
Thank you. I
But
want to
as for the
introduce you.
price, it's the high price of free. He
Oh,
starts
however will I
laughing.
be able to afford it? We'll be forever in your debt for this. I'll make sure to make it up to you. I'll get you something nice. But I do appreciate it.
Yeah, get on your way.
Okay.
I'll take his share if it's on the table.
His chair?
So there you go.
Share.
Oh. Sure. That's fine.
Perfect. You can have half of his free. So that brings you up to
Ugh,
half of free for him and half of free for you, if that's okay.
fair enough.
Okay. I want to introduce you tonight, if that's okay. I need to leave relatively early tomorrow. I'm sorry this is last minute. Hope you don't have any plans. Kind of looks over at the half-eaten steak and just... If that's okay.
Nah, I'm finished anyway.
And, perfect. Then I'll meet you over at the Delicious Diner, and I'd say take the nice car.
Okay.
Quick question.
Which-
Mm-hmm.
Does this protege of yours know that we're being paid to protect him from himself?
They know that I am having friends be places that he can go to.
Yeah, walk
If
and
things
talk.
go-
Walk and talk.
So you guys get in the elevator. Two of you get in the elevator. Sorry, Min. You might have to wait for the next one. Wait limit.
That's all right.
You go down, all of you get down to the elevator, get through the elevator, get into the garage. And he points at the Duesenberg. He says, the nice one.
Which one is the Duesenberg again?
The 1930 Duesenberg Model J.
All right. That works for me. There's a lot of nice ones, but I guess that one.
Right. All right. I'll meet you at the diner. Okay. You guys drive away. Oh, wait, no. You asked about if he knows. They know that I will have friends that can look after them. And they think it's coming altruistically, for sure. We don't have to mention the money. It's just more of a friendly incentive to make me feel better about asking you guys to do this.
Works for me.
Okay.
I anticipate you wanted to take this car because it's extraordinary weight capacity.
Oh, for sure. It's the safest way to travel. And you go along the sides of the car and you do see in very discreet places, he's like going in and like checking on things and tapping on things. You see a little light up, a little flare of magic here and there. He goes, just to make it safe. As you get in the car, Cade goes to his own car. I'm assuming the Min goes with Cade, and they all drive off into the night. Yet again, the camera pans up into the sky, into the clouds, shifts over closer this time to another section of a downtown street with these little lanterns going across and down, illuminating and creating long shadows. Across from a bar and a couple of other smaller shops. Let's see. Maggie, would you like to describe the exterior of the Haunting Stone?
Sure. It's like a little shop window that you would see in any of the shops down the main street. And in the window it says the Haunting Stone. And you can see a bunch of, it's like a little curtain. And then in front of the curtain is what looks like maybe like a little skull crystal with a bunch of crystals around it. And it just looks kind of interesting and inviting. And you see hand, like palm reading and fortune telling. Basically, it's one of those shops where you can come get your fortune told. And people who pass by sometimes make their way in. And as they enter, a little bell kind of jingles. And inside of the shop it's very dimly lit, kind of almost warm. And there's a strange wallpapering, you know, like the kind of weird wallpaper, like half wallpaper, half boarded wood. And it's just very dim lit, kind of a little creepy, but also people like it, right? Because it's an atmosphere that it's giving off.
Fits the ambiance.
Yeah, it's an ambiance. That's the best way to put it.
Perfect. Speaking of the bell, you hear ding as the door opens and a human man, around 5'8", stumbles in, open shirt, collars open, looks a little, you know, he's had a day. Probably in his work clothes, didn't bother changing to come here.
And is this Cade?
No.
Oh, this is a different gentleman. Okay. I think that behind the beaded curtain, she just listens.
Hey, so, is anyone here? I guess if you're a fortune teller, you know if I'm coming, but, you know, like, I bet you're waiting that hello?
Yes, I've been waiting for you. Come on in.
Am I behind, like, the curtain thing?
That would be where you'd need to be.
Okay. Walks in, and as he parts the beaded curtain, what would you like to describe Kyoko for us?
Yeah. They see sitting behind a table with, again, that skull crystal in the center, is a 1920s styled flapper dressed with wrapped hair. But what makes her the most unique is that she has ears like a fox and 9 big fluffy tails kind of draped over the chair. It looks almost like a coat, but it's actually part of her body. And her long red hair kind of matches the fur of her ears and her tail. And she has very dark skin and little freckles across her nose and cheeks with red eyes.
Like that.
Almost cat-like.
Mm-hmm. That feline almost. I like it.
Yeah.
The man comes in and he goes, "Oh, they told me there was a foxy lady here." I'm like, God, that's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty fun. Fits everything.
That's a new, unique one I've never heard before.
No kidding. Yeah, you know, my friends tell me I'm clever. You know,
Very
I'm the
clever,
jokester.
apparently. Why don't you take a seat, sir?
Okay. Did you say that you knew I was going to take a seat? So you're good.
Of course, that's why I was waiting there for you.
You're good. So he sits down and he goes, Sorry. Let me consult. My name is Quintonio. It's nice to meet you. Thank you to the patron S for giving us a name.
Thank you.
My name's Quintonio. This is, I don't usually do this. This kind of stuff, this old world magic. I don't know. Some of this stuff's kind of bupkis though.
Well, there's lots of people trying to fool others, but sometimes magic can be real.
Yeah, one can hope. You know, with everything nowadays. I don't. My wife and I have been having troubles, and I got something big planned for our anniversary coming up, and I just want to know, like, is she gonna like it? Cause I'm putting like a lot of money down, and like maybe you could tell me, like, is this gonna be good? Like, I've messed up a couple times, and like this is like, you know, she's like, oh, the last straw. Like I just look, I don't want to mess up again.
Well, love is a tricky thing. Everyone always wants to know how it's gonna happen. But sometimes it's about your actions and what you do. I can't control that. But
Yeah, the love part's fine. Like, we got love. We've been married for 5 years. Like, that's there. I want to know, does she like me still? Like, is this gonna work?
well,
you
let's
know,
see
the-
what the
the- the
cards
date-
tell us then. Shall we?
Okay. Do I need to like tell you about it, or like do we just do the card thing? Or?
Why don't you put your hands right here? She
Okay.
kind of points to 2 spaces that are like right in front of him.
Okay. Yeah. Hands there. Okay.
Then she puts her hands over his and
Too
Weird.
spooky.
maybe she can cast a spell of some sort. What do you think would be best here?
You do have this innate ability to be able to sense the fates or the time, or to peer into the future of a person's existence. That is very much our own kind of thing to work with, of how you experience these things. Sometimes it comes as a physical ailment that might haunt you before a tragedy. It could come with a snap vision of something small, just a feeling, like a tug, like you should take a step to the left. There's all of these different smaller triggers that you've been able to identify over the years that are representations of like the vibrations of fate and how you interpret them.
I do have a read fate. So you want me to click that and see what happens?
Sure.
All right. So this is my divination spell for reading fate. And it takes a minute to cast. So I guess she puts her hands over his and pulls something from like the side of a table that kind of has an interesting smell, and she pushes it into the air, and she says some words, and it kind of like floats around this gentleman and almost like blockades between him and her, like this little smoke, and inside of it, she's hoping to see some kind of image or picture of this fate.
So what you see is a man taking a woman to this kind of nice sports bar, and then going out to see this kind of an action flick. He looks really excited, and she's just there. And afterwards they go on with there's this like kind of muscle-esque souped up car that has like a chauffeur, and it's like not really her vibe. And they go out for another little excursion, and you can see she's just kind of like, yeah. And then flashes to the next morning, and it's a door slamming in his face, and he's outside on the curb. And so you could tell definitely date does not go well. She's had the last of it, kicks him out at the end of the day. But what you tell him, it's up to you.
Well, honey, I think you might want a refund on whatever you purchased. Have you ever thought about what she might want? What a day would be like for her? I don't think
What do you mean?
The movie choice, the vehicle, the dinner might not be all what she wants.
Yeah. I mean, I've been looking forward to this movie for months. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a great flick. I mean, all of the advertisements are
you
like...
just said to me, honey. You said I have been looking forward to that. What about
Yeah, it's going to be
her?
a great...
What
I
is
mean, like,
she
I'm
looking
assuming she's
forward
going to like it. Like, all the advertisements are saying, like, it's a crowd pleaser. So, like, you know.
to? Well, like I said, I can only tell you what fate has in store for you. You're the one who has to take the actions. And I would recommend maybe asking her what she'd want to do and getting a refund on whatever it is that you had planned. Or you do that on your own. Maybe give her something a little different.
I guess I could, like, shift up the restaurant or something. Like, you know, I can't really refund the car. That's just kind of happening.
Well, maybe the car's all right, but perhaps a movie she'd like to see. Or a place she'd like to go.
I mean, she makes all of her meals. I don't even know if she likes going, like, huh.
Sometimes.
I mean,
you don't have to leave to be able to have a date night. You can cook her something at home. She might appreciate that more. Do you do any
me
cooking?
cook? No. My mom cooked for me until I left out, and then I got food, and then, you know, I met her, and then she made the meals. I mean, like, I've never had to cook, but, like,
Well, have you ever
doesn't
done
seem
a
so
cooking
hard.
class?
I could do it. I could try
Sometimes.
and make like a steak.
Or a cooking class. Honestly, though, I think you should ask her.
I could buy
what
her
she'd
a
like.
cooking class. You know what? You're so right.
No,
that's
that's not
perfect.
what I'm
No,
saying.
that's such a wonderful idea. Like, no, you got my gears turning. This is gonna be wonderful.
I meant for
I'm
you,
gonna buy her a class.
sir. I'm talking about you, for a cooking class for you, not for her.
Why would I need a cooking class?
You just said that you hadn't cooked. And you're just going to make a meal?
You're right. You're right.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, how do I pay you? Is this like a soul thing? Do I gotta go get like a soul? Or like...
She leans in really close and is like, yes, you gotta give me your soul. No, of course not.
I just... Okay, so... how...
You know what?
What?
Seems like you're
what-
having a little bit of trouble. Normally I would charge some gold for this, but I think if you take this to heart, go talk to her. Ask her what she really wants. I think you need it more than I do.
There's a flash in your mind in the fact that you allowed this man to not pay for this means that he had the extra money to afford the class, to take to the nicer place, to actually have an effect to alter the way the night goes, to where he had an extra gold piece at the end. And as the car ended to its last position for the night, there was a little ice cream shop next door that he was able to go get her something nice. It was a childhood love of hers, a childhood delicacy. And you see this little, in an instant, all of this flashes, and the door closes with him on the other side with her in the flash. So
And she
because of
just
your
smiles
kindness.
at him.
Hmm?
And she just smiles at him as he
He
sitting in
just,
front of
he
her.
just, yo, like, I'm sorry. I said my name, Quintonio, again. I'm going to tell my friends about this.
Please do. I'm right here. I don't have any plans to go anywhere. Well, maybe soon.
As you say that, like a twinge hits like one of your ears and it just clicks for a
Yeah,
second.
one of her ears kind of twinges a little and the earring on it dangles.
Hey, your name, madam? I want to be able to tell my friends.
Kyoko, you can let him know where I'm at. The Haunted
Kyoko,
Stone,
with pleasure.
no matter where I go, I'll ensure that there's a place.
That is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. As he like backs out the door, he like hits it. It's like, okay, sorry. Have a great night. And then he just ends up leaving and you find
Yeah, and he
yourself
finds
alone.
that like there is a little stone in his pocket that says haunting stone.
Ooh, you got a little sleight of hand in there.
Yeah,
Just popped it in. I like
I can
that.
roll for it if you want.
Oh, sure. Go for it. Yeah. A little sleight of hand check.
I'm not good at it. Would that be thievery or it's not really?
I guess it would be a subsection of thievery would be sleight of hand. So I'm going to say you can either do thievery or just a straight dexterity check.
Ooh. Ludix. I mean, it doesn't really matter, yes. Let's do dex. No, 8. He knows I put the stone in his pocket. I'm okay
As
with
he
that.
stands up to leave, you very obviously just lean forward and put it in his pocket. And he goes, it's fine. I was expecting some weird stuff. And if you want to put a rock in my pocket, like, that's okay. I'm okay with this. As long as this doesn't explode if I don't do what you say. This is not going to explode, right?
It's not going to explode, but you can give it to your friends if anyone's ever in need.
Oh,
I'll make sure to
perfect.
find them.
Perfect. I got a guy, Vinny. He's going to love it. Okay. Thank you. So he leaves. You close up shop. And as you're closing up, you're going through this ritual of how you've been doing this night after night for however many years you've been here. And you get these heart palpitations, this excitement and flare up, and then a little twinge of a headache. This feeling in your arm, this burning, starts at your elbow, goes down to your hand and out, and you almost feel like it extends past your hand into the forms of this monstrous claw hand, and you feel your ears feel as if these horns are there for a second, and you shake it off. And the last time you felt like this, you're in Chicago, and it drew you to Los Angeles. So you're thinking maybe some sort of connection, and then it hits you, the diner.
Calling to me again, are ya? Well, I guess I know where I'm having dinner tonight. And she.
And then as you say,
her little
this is where I'm
hand.
having dinner, the headache disappears. The arm stops feeling, and you feel a sense of comfort when you say that.
She grabs her little pouch and puts it on and heads out the door, and you hear the jingle, and then she locks it.
So as you're walking to the delicious Sunrise Diner, on the way you pass by a mother and a son, and you get this twinge of like, I should stop them for a moment. Like they need to not move as fast as they are for like half a second.
She kind of steps in front and says, "Oh my, how old are you?"
I just turned 4.
Oh, well, aren't they just precious? Well, I got something for you.
Excuse me, madam, do you have any reason to be talking to my child? I don't know if you foxes, you old braces, what? Can I help you?
I just was admiring how adorable your child is.
Okay, well, you can't have him. He's my child, so I'm going to go and take him.
Madam,
and we're
I
just
have
gonna
no
keep on
plans of taking
moving,
your child.
okay? No, this is fine. This is fine. I could just keep moving. It's okay.
You have a nice
because
day.
You watch as they walk away, and if they had been 2 or 3 steps faster, a car drives around the corner at high speeds, not able to stop. No way they could have stopped in time if they had just kept walking. You have that sense of relief again, and as that anxiety fades,
She stops walking for a moment. Her heels clack one last time on the stone, and she takes a deep breath as she hears like maybe the child laughing on the other side of the street. And then she breathes back out and continues walking again.
Perfect. You take your time walking. It's not that far of a walk for you. You arrive at a diner that you have since become a regular of. Go inside, it's a normal time. You see 2 women behind the counter greeting you with a familiarity. Hey, Kyoko. Wonderful to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Had a long day.
Would you like some coffee or anything I can make for you?
I have a feeling tonight's going to be a long one, too. A coffee would be great.
Perfect. In your normal booth in the corner?
With a little cream and sugar. And maybe a pot. I think I might have guests this time.
Consider it done. I'll have it brought over to you.
She goes and sits down in the booth.
About 20 minutes passes after you sit down. The woman you know very well comes over, hands you a pot of coffee. You hear a bit of a clink in the back. You look through. There's actually a couple of people around in the room. There's an elven woman in the corner, a dwarf off to the side, a human in a booth to themselves, and then another halfling sitting next to the elf having a conversation. None of them giving you any anxious feelings or anxieties going forward. But you're like kind of aware, trying to find like what's going to happen here, what's going on. You enjoy the moment, trying the best you can to discern what's going to happen as this anxious flare-up happens as another person comes in. Azu, you arrive back at the delicious sunrise. See your mother's behind the counter and hear the clank, clank, clank of the chef Greggles in the back.
I go up to my mom's and just kind of kiss him on the cheek. Hey, Mom. Hey, Ma. We're going to have some company. Cade's coming over with some friends.
Oh, Cade is coming over. Beautiful.
Yeah.
French toast, same as always?
Yeah, French toast. Honestly, he
Perfect.
actually specifically asked for that for when he arrived.
Oh, I'm getting in his head. I'm getting like sees to herself, and Dad's like, see, I knew he'd like it. I just one time with the cinnamon. It was the cinnamon sugar on top that I knew he would enjoy.
I think it was cinnamon. Yeah.
Love it.
Anything I can help with? I'm done with the training for today with Cade.
Oh, perfect. There's actually some ingredients out back. Can you help? Can you load them for Greggles?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Hey, Greggles. And I'll head out to the back.
Hey, Arzu, how are you doing? And
I'm
you go in
doing
the back,
good.
and there is this 6 foot tall, large bellied warforged that has 4 arms, each doing a different plate of holding off different things. He has like segmented body that can spin around opposite of him, and he like walks, so leans over. Did you have a good time tonight?
It was good. Cade worked me to the bone as usual, but I think
As
I'm
he
improved.
should.
How have you been doing?
Yeah, you know I've been doing great. We had quite the rush earlier. It was a good time.
Oh, anything I can, after I've finished loading up, anything else I can help with back here?
There's a couple of sacks of flour outside, and we've got to bring those in. I think we're running low on tomatoes as well, if you want to grab those.
Yeah, I can go get those.
Perfect. And there's a little bit of rosemary that I think is in the back side of the pantry, if you would like to bring that to me.
Got you.
Perfect. So you run around and grab all these things. Continue.
Yeah, I'm like I think it's very much like this is the routine. All the time I come back from training with Cade, go straight into helping out with the last bits of the rush. I guess dinner rush at this point of the diner. I think most of the time I'm at the back. The few times I have been on the floor, usually when it's probably even more sparse than now, purely because, like I mentioned before, my tail, I don't have full control of my tail, and I can sometimes swing and swat things that I don't intentionally.
Something flares up, and you reach to grab the pan to instinctively move it off of the burner onto a non-burning one to try to get the heat off. As you turn, your tail flicks and knocks over a container of flour that one of Greggle's hands like shifts immediately over, catches, picks up, moves down. Watch the tail! As he just is moving, not even taking a breath off. As you guys have this sort of flow between the two of you after a long time of working next to each other, almost as his assistant, to be able to help out at the family diner. After about 30 minutes of that, as he walks in, Kyoko, you have that twinge, an ear, as he walks through the door, walks into the back. So you know, okay, it's definitely them. What could go wrong? Why am I here? What's going on?
She like sips her coffee and just kind of is watching, peering at what's happening, trying to decipher why is she being called here?
So you have had a couple of interactions with Azuka in the past. It's been, oh, hey, how you doing? Sometimes they have been the one to bring food or bring coffee, and you've had this odd sensation, this connection with them for many years, and you've always been trying to figure it out. To them, you're just a regular. You know, you're somebody who comes in after a long day of work. What do you do? How do you try to figure this out yourself? Something is definitely pulling you to a special feeling for tonight.
And I think I will be like occasionally probably come out on the floor, but purely to like pick up dirty dishes rather than take orders.
Bussing, going in and out.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna read their aura.
Okay. Can you, let's see.
I pasted that in the thing. So whenever they're like roughly 30 feet from me, at maybe one of the closer tables, she'll cast that.
Okay. Focus on the target object. Open your mind to perceive magical auras. When the casting is complete, you know that the item is magical.
Oh,
The object illusionary.
more
I can
for an
take that.
item.
That's fine. I can use that. So you have this aura going, and as they come out, grab a couple plates to the booth behind you. You have this sense of transmutation, abjuration, evocation gone, transfiguration, abjuration, this shifting cycle of effects, one covering the other, reacting to the other, almost a constant shift of this arcane feature. Maybe once or twice you notice like a flare-up of evocation in the back, like a burner wasn't lighting. So they reached forward and snapped their fingers and a little spark came, a little cantrip that was taught. But it's something that so you can tell there is something going on very specific with that. It feels as time goes on, the smallest bit of anxiety grows a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And you're thinking like, okay, this is interesting. This keeps growing. Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of looking at you. I don't know if you notice it, Azu, but
Make me a perception check.
she's definitely watching you.
Yeah. 23. 17 on the die.
Would you want to roll a stealth check for this, or are you just incredibly obvious with it?
I think she's obvious about it. I mean, I don't think she's trying to like obvious about it in the sense that she's trying to hide it, but she's, she's not like that, but she's also not.
What are you doing?
Yeah. She's not there. She's not like staring at him, but she's also not trying to hide it. She's just kind of watching him, intrigued. And you can tell, obviously, with the 23 that she is definitely looking at you.
You go out to get some plates, and it glance. Go out in the back, you can see the kind of like the lean look between the little gap for the food of what's going on, and you have this feeling of being watched. But they're someone you've seen around a lot, so it's odd that you'd be getting so much attention on one particular night.
I think I would just, because I feel like I know at least the regulars by name. Kyoko, you can decide whether or not I would know you by name.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I think it'd be like, I would just see a regular looking at me and be like, I'll be with you in a moment, and like finish, like hand over the rest of the dishes and then hurry over and just go, can I get you anything? Or new plates, new cups, anything? What can I help you with?
I think it's more about what I can help you with.
I think I'm good.
I don't know if you know what I do. I run the Haunted Stone.
I've seen your stones around. Yeah. You're a fortune teller?
Something like that. Less of a teller, more of a Well, fate sometimes puts me in the hands of others.
So, has fate put you in the delicious sunrise?
It has,
Oh.
many times. But I never really understood why. I still don't. But I think it's because of you. There's something about you.
Are you sure it's not the French toast? That puts a lot of butts in seats here. I'm sure even fate might be a fan.
I think my stomach's a fan of that.
I would like look over to my mum to see if they're like overly busy. And if it seems like they're not, I'll take a seat in front of Kyoko.
Yeah, the dinner rush has come and gone. It's very much, you can definitely, you have probably like 45 minutes as things die down. Anybody who works in the service industry knows that it's oddly rhythmic of busy to nobody to busy to nobody. You're definitely in one of those lulls for now.
Yeah. What have you seen, heard? I don't know how it works with you and fate. I'm fine. I don't think I need help with anything at the moment. Unless you're gonna help me with math. I've been struggling a lot with some of the more like statistics. I've been trying to, because I can't go to university, so I'm trying to learn it with the textbooks I just have lying around, and it kind of gets confusing when it comes to the distribution stuff.
Well,
I'm
math
guessing-
is not my forte either.
Okay.
Well, other than maybe in a temporal way.
Oh, I don't think I'm learning that.
I have seen something about you. Something with your hands.
I mean, there's not really any hiding it. No, raise his kind of scaly hand. Yeah, but I've been like this since I was young.
Interesting. And she just kind of sits back in the booth and takes a drink of her coffee.
Ozzy very awkwardly looks at Kyoko expectantly, and then when there's nothing, kind of rubs his sweaty palms on his trousers. Is that all? Do you need me to read my palm or
Kyoko?
something?
Mm-hmm.
You want your fork to be 2 inches to the left.
Kyoko just picks her fork up and moves it over a little bit to the left.
Gets it to the edge of the table. Continue.
I could read your palm if that's what you'd like.
Honestly, and then again, I look down at my hands and see that the wraps are covered of palms as well. Honestly, maybe not. I just guess I'm just kind of. If fate led you to me, I'm not entirely sure what fate wants me to do from here.
Well, that's for fate to know. The funny thing is, I don't always know either.
Oh. Well, that seems more terrifying than just not knowing fate has a plan.
It is sometimes terrifying. I think what's more terrifying is sometimes when you know things and you feel helpless, like you can't change it. Or if you do change it, it might change other things.
Ooh. Being a fortune teller sounds like a lot more work than I thought.
Well, different type of work. What you do is also really important for your mothers.
Yeah. They've taken care of this place quite a bit, so I thought I might as well do my part.
That's good. I think there might be others coming our way too.
Yeah. Wait. Are you one of? How did you? Yeah. Cade said he's bringing friends. Are you one of the friends? I probably should have asked that. Are you one of the friends Cade mentioned?
Hmm.
Do you want French toast? Oh, crap. I forgot to bring the French toast.
I don't think I am, but I think I'm about to be.
Wow, the whole, like, past tense and future tense thing is very cool. Yeah. In that case, I will preemptively get you French toast. So Cade's going to be having some as well. I guess it'll be a conversation starter. Do you want anything in particular with your French toast?
I think I'm all right.
As you stand up to leave the booth, it's normal for you to grab the edge of the table to get up. And as you do, there's a fork in your way. You shift your hand instinctively and it bumps Kyoko's. And Kyoko, this sound of tires and then that slight bump, the sound screech hits your ears for a split second and then it's gone. And then you have this, and then he's just already leaving, and you're like, what? You heard something, you felt a lot, but this bump, this tie of fate was so strong that you could see it and hear it in this vision.
We only heard a little bit of screaming. I'm not sure if it played. Is that all we're supposed to hear?
Yep.
Okay.
That was the glimpse.
She just looks worriedly at Azu as he moves to like go get the French toast excitedly. He looks excited. She looks worriedly at him.
Go to the back, and almost as if timed by fate, 5 minutes passes, and a doorbell dings, and in walks Mintala, Cade, and Chuck. Go and sit. As they walk in, Cade says, Nala, Chi-Chi, it's wonderful to see you again. They respond with, oh, Cade, thank you so much for coming. Oh, have your booth ready. French toast is almost on its... Azu, is the French toast, is it ready?
Yeah, it's ready. Give me a sec. Just make another batch.
Oh, perfect. Cade's here with friends. Okay.
Ooh.
And you hear the thud, thud, thud of Min as he walks in. So you're like, oh, okay, this is weird. They go sit down at the booth. You guys have the floor. Cade sits down with you.
We sit at the same booth as Kyoko?
No, you guys sit in like the center. Cade likes the center next to the big window, sees outside the neon lights and all that. The bigger booth can fit 2 or 3 on either side. Definitely Min takes up more than one person's space.
I think he like approaches the booth and like goes to one of them and just kind of like puts his not spiky hand out and just like kind of tests it, like presses it to see if it gives. Like, you
hear
and then like,
and then as you sit a little bit, the seam on the leather just and like a bit of the seam rips and a bit of the stuffing kind of comes out a little bit. And he goes, I will be able to fix that. Don't worry, Min. I'll take care of everything.
appreciate it.
Taps you with his cane and you feel a little bit lighter. And as you sit, you can actually enjoy the comfort of a cushion. It's actually one of the first times you can kind of like adjust to it a little bit. It's the first time something hasn't like compressed immediately.
Why don't you just do that all the time, Cade?
Do you know how magic works? Do you know how much power it takes to do something like that? How many times I can do it a day?
Yeah, just do it.
Okay, you got me there. It's a cantrip. I can do it whenever I want. But, you know, sometimes people need to be people. You know?
Pretty sure it's not a person.
That is so rude for you to say, really. Greg goes, everybody got the French toast ready! As 2 big Warforged arms come out through the box. Azu, are you going to be the one? Would you rather have... Yeah.
I grab the plates, and I think I walk past Kane and be like, you can wait. And I go over to Kyoko first and set her French toast down. This is the freshest batch. I'm giving Cade a slightly staler one. He can make do. And I go over to
He just smiles.
and set Cade's French toast in front of him. And just wave at others. Hey, I suppose you're the friends that Cade mentioned?
Yes, Azu, might I introduce you to Mintala and Chuck Spadina?
Chuck. Why do I feel like I recognize your face?
Oh boy. You might know me as Charles. Charles Spadina.
Charles Spadina.
Ammo.
Hey Ma, do you know who Charles Spadina is? I like yell across.
And she's like not really paying attention in the back. She's like, you mean that man who owns that ammunition manufacturing place? Yeah, that he's friends with the mayor or something like that. Why do you ask?
I think he's here probably gonna eat our French toast.
You hear, what? Sir, I will remake that French toast right now. It's going to be twice as good. Can I get? Oh, that's. Okay, so you took it to her.
Yeah, she wanted French toast.
I think Kyoko just stands up and slides the plate over. I wasn't hungry anyway.
Oh,
It's no trouble.
Once again, the French toast plate passes right by Cade. He's like has a fork, like following it as it passes by him. He has a little patience.
Chuck will get up. Pleasure to meet you, Azu. Although I'd rather introduce myself to her.
sure.
Are you pointing at Kyoko?
Yeah.
Pleasure's mine. Kyoko. She offers her hand.
Name's Chuck. Although most people know me as Charles, if you didn't already realize.
As you take his hand, there's a warmth to it. It feels like being either when you're camping in the cold and you have a fire, and so one part of you is warm and the other is taking the brunt of the breeze. Or if you step outside onto a bright day and the sun is really hot, it hits you in the face. There's this nice, gentle warmth that leaves almost an imprint on your hand. And it's gone.
She gives you a warm smile after you give her a handshake.
Pleasure to meet you. Enjoy your French toast. And I mean that. Keep this.
As you slide it past, Kay just again tries to indicate in some way that he would love some French toast.
I think she slides it back to Cade.
He just, thank you.
As I said, I'm good. But I appreciate it. And she looks at you and Azu as well.
Yeah, Kyoko's a regular here. Apparently fate led her here. I don't really know what that really entails or means. By the way, hi, Chuck, Mintala, I'm Azu. I guess we're going to be hanging out for a bit.
Nice to meet you.
Ooh, gravelly. I like it.
Yeah, he is kind of made of gravel.
That was a joke.
It was a good one. I actually like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. You could
Common
learn
one,
something.
but it's pretty good.
I'm just saying, Chuck, you could learn to make, jokes that are
I
like,
thought I was the one making the
compliments.
joke, but I guess that's fair.
yeah, but your jokes normally end with like a negative connotation. He actually complimented the person as that. Again, work on it. Fate brought you here, you say.
It did.
Now that is interesting. You seem kind of lost in thought for a moment.
You did the thing again where you kind of like disappear.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking of strings of fate, connotations towards planar alignments, the movements of...
You can stop. I stopped listening.
Oh, sorry, I did that thing again where I overshare and
Yeah.
thinking that it would make sense in the moment, but
No.
sorry. Yes. Well, Kyoko, I really do appreciate the French toast, and if fate brought you here to bring me French toast, then fate is definitely kind.
So you're eating that plate instead of the other plate that Azu gave to you.
I like it the way Nala makes it.
There's 2 plates of French toast, Kate.
Yeah,
Are you
but
eating
I
the one
made
that Azu gave you, or the one that Kyoko was saying was fresher and giving to you?
I want the fresher one.
Okay,
Nice one.
I'm just making sure because I want to know what to do with the other.
I'll
plate
take
of French
both
toast.
plates if you want to give me both plates. This doesn't have to. I can add this one to mine, and we can get you more if you would like. This is some darn
already
good
ate.
French toast. Like, I get that, but you don't have like another section in your stomach for like more
Mintala,
dessert?
do you want to eat? Azu,
Do they
maybe
have
you
them
want
to
some
go?
French toast.
I'll have some French toast. Yeah, fine, sure. I'm gonna be hanging out with you all anyway. I'll just take a seat. I'll pull up a seat by the booth. I'll just take a seat.
Yes, Mintala, we can get some to go for you.
Thank you.
Well, Kyoko, this was lovely. I do have to discuss business now. If that's
Mhm.
okay.
That's all right. But I think our businesses might align eventually.
Well,
And she
then,
just smiles at them all and goes back to her booth.
let's hope fate acts quickly. Okay.
Or not.
No.
I'd rather not die.
Well, trying to make a
Whoa.
nice little gesture as they walked away.
Wow.
Never mind.
What? It was a joke. You told me to make more jokes.
Your jokes are so dark. Like, that was like, I get the humor of it, but man. Anyway, let's have serious
All
talk
right.
time. Azu, these are my friends that I was saying could take care of you while I'm gone. Mintala is wonderful when it comes to arcane interactions, and Chuck is an incredibly capable individual who I trust. So if you need anything particular or odd while I'm gone, one of these two will be able to get it for you. I've set them up with a house across the street. It's going to be close. It's not like a babysitter, just like I didn't know if you would want to be biking across town every time you would need something like an arcane reagent, or because I am going to be giving you homework. I've got like a giant stack, and he like reaches into a bag and pulls out like a stack of papers with runes on it. He's like, I'm going to need you to memorize all of these by the time I'm back. I know it's going to be difficult. Memorize. Remember, arcane manipulation is about the memorization of runic structures, incantations, and somatic formulas. You have to be able to get these down to avoid erratic magic use.
Hear you loud and clear, Cade. Loud
Thank
and
you.
clear.
Thank you. Okay. He hands you the like this thick of paper of just each one having 5 to 10 different runes with their descriptions, understanding how they manipulate, how they work together. It's like, with this, we might be able to get up to level 2 or 3 tier magic. You know, we can get some interesting things going. You know,
Yeah.
maybe even get
Or
some
I could teach you
transmutation.
how to take apart and rebuild a combustion engine.
That does sound fun.
Is it-
Like push aside the papers.
That is an incredibly, you put it, there's syrup there.
Oh yeah, it's fine. You can clean it up with your magic.
Magic paper, the magic interactions. If you paid attention, the magic interactions when you make it, it's fine. We'll talk about this again when I return. Just make sure. I guess we'll ignore the theories on fire manipulation to okay, it's fine. Cars definitely a useful trade. We need mechanics. Everybody needs mechanics. It's a wonderful thing to do. Anyway, I'll be going to New York. I'm going to be going to Denver. A couple of weeks to get me to Chicago for a train. I'll be in New York after that. Okay? If you need anything along those routes, you can be ahead of me. Okay. Do you have any questions? Min, Chuck, do you?
Yeah, one question. You didn't tell me anything. You just told him stuff.
Right. Azu,
So-
Min, Chuck, now you guys know each other. Become friends. See, this is what I was saying. Learn how to make friends. It helps with, making this less awkward.
You know how many things I get invited to? I think I got plenty of friends.
Yeah, I get it. People enjoy you. Ooh, don't invite the elf. He's up in his tower on the hill. Why invite him to the...
Because you give everybody homework like this.
It's interesting
Done it to
information.
other people too.
It's interesting information. I'm sorry for assuming that humanity, who spent so much time without magic, would be disinterested in learning its capacities and capabilities in the new world to defend it.
Mintala, you can read this, right? You know this stuff.
More or less.
See, we're fine. We got somebody who knows.
Well then, I guess that Mintala can become your tutor and we can have some daily regiments of magical practice.
Oh boy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
if memorization of this stuff is too easy for you, then why not add on a little bit? Min, would you be okay with teaching them some magic on the daily? And Cade kind of just like tilts his head and stares at you like a teacher that you've pissed off.
Listen, you can trust them like stone.
I think that was pretty good. I'm seeing an improvement here, and I've only known you like for a good hour maybe.
Look, I don't want to take your intentions for granted on this one. I want to make sure.
That was good too.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that there's something going on moving forward. Okay.
Hey, you don't need to
So
worry.
you've done so well over the last year. It's been great.
I know.
and- You guys flow into this conversation, discussing each other, meeting each other. Kyoko's off in the side in the booth that you're at with the coffee. Are you going to do anything to insert yourself, or are you kind of waiting for everything to dissipate because the anxious feeling still hasn't left and it's still growing?
Yeah, I
mean-
think she's. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Chuck will occasionally lean out and look at her and just basically trying to escape the conversation happening because he's like, I'm kind of bored of this. And he'll just kind of like cheers his coffee mug to you.
She just kind of.
We can even say that the booths are like back to back. So it's very
I
easy.
think she's
Kyoko's
more
right
just
behind.
keeping an eye on Azu and kind of just like watching him, and I think just making sure that wherever they are, she's just gonna be kind of there. I know, a little creepy, a little stalkery, but it's for their good.
Kyoko, Min, and Chuck make me perception checks.
Ooh,
Just standard perception.
Standard perception.
17.
Azu, you and Cade are like having an intense conversation about like, why don't you ever treat me in public as you do when we're at the
18, rolled an
observatory? I
11.
feel like there's something that could really... So like, he's trying to be having that. So we have 17, 13, 18. Okay.
I think
so
mine
Chuck-
rolled weird.
Do you have a
Chuck
plus
and
11 to
Kyoko.
perception, Maggie?
I do have a plus 11,
Damn.
but
Nice.
did I just roll bad? Maybe I just rolled bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
rolled
rolled
a
a
6 on the die.
A 6 turning into a 17.
Yeah. I rolled a 5, becoming a
Yeah.
13.
So we have
As
a
this is
we have
happening-
a 17, 13, and an 18.
Chuck starts a conversation with Kyoko. Min is kind of just sitting there listening in on to the conversation between Azu and Cade. Chuck and Kyoko, as you guys are looking at each other, these headlights light up the interior of the diner as a car pulls in. It's an older car, but like nicer. Nice car. All the doors open up, and 4 men step out. Nice vest, rolled up sleeve, slicked back hair. You think, oh, this guy's a mafioso. What is that? As he steps out, you see this bone pauldron that comes down as spikes are shifting out of his arm that leads to a boned exoskeleton style hand with these large claws. And another person steps on the other side with the same thing, but on the opposite arm. The same kind of exoskeleton spike design with the long bones. And then somebody steps out from the back. He has them on his legs, and a tail that is barbed whips up into the air. As another man steps out of the driver's seat with this bone plating jaw that goes up across his face. And as he steps out, he looks directly at the booth next to you, and that anxiety that you have flares. and the headache immediately hits, and you're in full something is about to happen mode as he crouches down, puts his shoulders back, and you see the individual bones split up, and his jaw unhinges down. A big deep breath, and then a sonic scream echoes through the diner. The windows are shattered, and I need everybody to make me a fortitude saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm not good at
Well, I
those.
perceived this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this coming. I have this thing where I can. Where is it? Where's my ability?
So as this is happening, because Chuck and Kyoko were able to see it coming, and you saw the breathing heavy and the anxiety flared as it happened, if you guys give me a reflex saving throw, if you get above a 15, I'll say you ducked.
Ooh, I was
under
gonna do
the
something
booth.
else, but
I have
17.
I have
Okay,
my
so you-
natural reaction of hit the dirt.
I'll give you advantage on the saving throw then.
So am I rolling fortitude?
Actually, you land prone after completing your leap. Yeah, that would just knock you to the side. And what was that, Min?
Am I doing fortitude?
Yes.
Okay.
So those who didn't perceive it get hit with
18.
the fortitude. 18, beautiful.
11
So
on the dice.
22.
You rolled a 22.
Yeah,
Love
that's
that.
another die.
Okay,
Azu is a
so
beast.
So do I have to roll or no? Because
You have to roll a reflex.
so
what
actually,
he said.
because of the hit the dirt ability he has, he was able to jump
Oh.
down and land prone. And because he was below the booth, I'm going to say that this passes over. It's anybody who has anybody in direct line of sight for this cone.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Perfect. I need to roll this. Okay.
The chat's like, hit the dirt. Poor Mintala. Why did you do
Yeah.
that? You hit Mintala.
That's what really happens. I just shove Mintala towards the blast.
I love it. So, because Mintala and Azu both succeeded on their fortitude saves, you are not stunned. But Cade, however, hits and his eyes get this like dulled look to them, and he just kind of like slumps to the side and falls to the floor, as does every other patron in the diner. Get to roll for Nala and Chi-Chi.
Oh no. He's taking out your parents.
Chi-Chi
That's why
falls
you
to
don't
the
have
ground.
family. No, just kidding.
Chi-Chi falls to the ground. Nala stays up. Greggles falls over to the side. And almost immediately, you hear as, like a 1940s mafia, they just start unloading these bone shards into the diner. The glass that hadn't shattered gets destroyed as these probably 4-inch long bone darts just shatter in, and you see them impaling into the walls in the back, some of them going towards Nala. And sure, he ducks at the last minute as it hits right above her, and you guys are surviving this salvo of damage, of bone. What do you do?
Do you want us to roll initiative or just go in any order?
We can go out. We don't have to be in initiative just yet.
Because my thing was, I was thinking about doing temporal distortion on the main dude, but I don't know what the order was.
We can do that if you like. If we like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's go into initiative real quick. Let's get some fun with this.
Okay.
How do we do that?
There's an
There's
initiative under
initiative button.
perception.
It's next to perception.
Next to perception, yeah.
I
God,
natty
old school.
one.
Nat 1 on initiative.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
26.
Apparently. Is that, wait, no, is that right? It says initiative perception. I don't know if I've done this right.
I think you got it right, because initiative in
Pathfinder.
Yeah, initiative in Pathfinder uses perception.
Yeah,
Yeah.
initiatives can
Right,
get pretty
okay.
crazy.
Oh yeah, I just rolled well and I rolled 18.
Yeah.
18. Okay, so that's everybody. So we got Mintala going first, followed by Kyoko and Azu. Chuck in the back. Okay, let's see what these guys roll.
I think it's because I dove to the floor.
Right?
Makes
The
sense.
chat's
Yeah.
like, Bentham's not used to high initiative rolls.
That's true.
It's
That's,
true.
Yeah,
In our
I've been
last campaign
trained-
for 3 years, he was always last.
Oh,
Really?
God.
It was
He'd roll like a
single
3.
digit practically every time. Like I had a
Yes.
negative, and then also I just always rolled badly. I was just always at the bottom of the tracker.
He'd be like 3 or 7 or 2.
That is.
But it was okay that he was low. It was just funny.
And
That
I'm,
is
so I'm
hilarious.
like plus 20. That's physically impossible. It can't happen to me.
So this is always something that's funny to me, and I have this bit of a curse when I run games of characters who have the same starting letter to their name. Because whenever I track initiative, I just use the first letter. So it'll be C for Chuck, but then it's also C for Kyoko, and then it's also C for Cade. So I have to actually write this out and do some work with that. Okay,
Sorry, we have a lot of C
It's-
names.
totally fine. It happens every time. So with that, the first person to go, Mintala. You look to the right and you have the look like thugs stepping outside of this car. They're still like around at their door with one person with the jaw standing next to the driver's door.
So there's the guy with the jaw, and then there's 2 guys with each with 1 arm thing. And was there anyone else?
4 guys in total, 1 with the tail,
Okay.
2 with altered arms, 1 with the jaw.
Right. Were they all shooting bone shards, or was it a particular one?
Good call. It's only the ones with arms with their hands out that were unleashing this bone salvo that was like growing out of their skin and launching. And as you look up
Okay.
and over, another one just kind of goes past you. It seems like they're just unloading, not a specific target.
Okay, I want to go for the nearest one with an arm then.
Okay. So you'd have to vault out of the window, I'm assuming in charge.
Yep, all right. Is that gonna, how much movement is that going to be?
Oh, they're maybe 25 feet away from you.
Which would be
25 feet's my movement.
Perfect. Okay, so you run right up on them.
All right, I charge up. I'm going to go for I'm just going to try and punch this guy
All right.
with my big giant rock arm.
Roll for me.
Okay, 17 to hit.
So 17 just barely hits. So you run up. Which one are you running up on? Arm guy on the left?
It's the nearest one with an arm, so
Perfect. You're dodging up under the bones as they're coming at you, and you run up. Do you just do like a solid haymaker? How does it feel?
yeah, I think it's just charge up and just like you charging this as I go, and then just
Deck him right in the face. Perfect. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's on there.
Okay,
It's 11.
it's there. It's 11.
Perfect. 11
Bludgeoning.
damage. All right. You take a solid chunk. When you punch into this guy, you see the bone on his shoulder crack a little bit. And as that does, you see that it's actually like fused in and grown out of his arm, as if this was like
Oh.
some mutation of his.
Okay.
So that's,
so
one
that's
action to
2 out
move.
of- yeah.
One action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I'm going to attack again, which I know puts you at a because you
Yes. Because you take a multiple attack
learning
penalty.
Pathfinder, but yeah, you can do multiple attacks, but it's going to be a -5 penalty. But I think if I have an agile attack, then it's just a -4.
Correct.
And I think this will process it standard. So I use my other melee attack, the big sharp, jagged glass hand with unknown liquid dripping off it for a slash,
All right.
which it should just process. I don't think it did include the
So a
-4
-4 from that, make it to a 14.
So that's just a 14.
As you go
Okay.
to make that other slash, he whips his arm out of the way and is able to dodge with that. Yes, Azu?
Damn. Okay.
And I'm just going to say, at least for me, in the melee strikes, there's the attack and then a number #2, then #3. If you click #3, that'll
right.
incorporate the
That's,
second,
I see.
and then
Very
the third
cool.
one for that.
Yeah, I didn't register those. That makes sense. Okay, for future.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that's 3 actions. So Min is done. Kyoko.
Yep.
All right, I think Kyoko is going to kind of run forward towards Azu, because obviously she thinks she's there for them. And she just kind of grabs your shoulders, if you allow it. And she just starts saying like words to you that you cannot understand what she's saying. It's in some kind of weird other language. And she's going to give you protection. This gives you +1 status bonus to your armor class, and saving throws against creatures and effects of the chosen alignment. And I'm assuming that these people are not good. And it
Perfect.
increases to +3 against creatures that would directly control the target, and against attacks made by summoned creatures.
Summoning creatures.
But
Okay, so it's a
ones that didn't
+1 bonus. Yeah, you do definitely get that +1 bonus to your AC. And so you still have 1 more action you can use. I was thinking to run, cast, or is that a 2? It's a 2.
It's a 2
Okay,
I
action, yeah.
ran towards them
Perfect.
and then touched them.
perfect. Learning to read. I'm still learning to read it on Roll20 as everything's going. So that is your 3. Then we got Azu.
Azu's kind of like panicked, especially seeing Chi drop and then Nala just barely dodge some bone shards, and having Kyoko grab them by the shoulder. They're just like speaking who knows what to them. They have no idea, and kind of like just in a hurry brushes your hands away and rushes to Nala and Chi, and it's just going to use their body as a shield and just be like, get upstairs, please, just get upstairs. I don't know what's happening, but just get Chi to safety, okay? And I want to just put my body as a shield for them as they try to escape.
When the protection is cast on you, you feel this little like ripple over your body and a sense of calm. And as you're running, a bone shard goes like right past you and then distorts a little bit, and suddenly it's to the side and misses entirely. You run up, you jump over, you're there, covering. I'd say it's 1 action.
That is 1 action. From where I am right now, how far away am I from these people shooting at us?
50 feet, we'll say.
50 feet, okay. I think that'd be the end of my turn. I think my turn would just be being a meat shield for my parents.
Okay, we could say use your last 2 actions to provide cover for them.
Yeah.
Easy enough. Give them a little cover protection. Cool. Then it's up to Chuck.
I have a question about house rules on natty 1s on initiative, because in other campaigns I've lost my attack in standard 5e, or lost my action in standard 5e for natty 1s. So I
feel like in an initiative, going last is its own terrible reaction.
That's fair. So no critical fails on natty 1s.
Not to me.
Okay. Well,
There might be scenarios where that does interact, like say you're trying to ambush somebody and then you roll that, then you might not get a surprise round or something similar, or they might not be as flat-footed. But
Gotcha.
for this scenario, just means you're going last.
Cool. Well,
If they didn't roll absolutely terrible, then you would, like, yeah, your initiative is good.
That's fair. I'm gonna get up off the ground, which I think is an action, or is it cost movement in Pathfinder? I don't remember.
I actually don't know. We'll say that it costs half your movement if you were to.
I don't think it costs half your movement, because
Yeah, I think
that's why
it's-
they have
I think
25.
Is
I
it
think
an
it's
action?
an action, yeah.
Okay,
Because you
then an
can
action.
use your movement whenever. Like you can
Yeah,
use
true.
your movement 3 times. So I think
Yeah.
it's just an action to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll call it an action.
Well, Chuck never grabbed his guns, so he's running to the car.
Sounds good. With the remaining 2 actions, you are easily able to get to the car, and you're at the car, door open. I could say it's a free action to get your stuff if you know exactly where it's at, or if it's.
Oh, my cars are back in my place. I never grabbed them. They're in pieces.
Oh, right. So you run back to the Duesenberg.
Yep. I'm going to hit them with the car next turn.
Oh, final action, start the car?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. All right, that means that it's Cade's turn, and the way stun works is that. Okay. Cade's turn passes. Now it is the thug's turn. The thug that is right in front of Mintala is going to take an attack at them. Pull this out over here. Make that easier for me to see. Sorry, I'm still adjusting to this. So with that, gonna get a melee claw attack. Okay. Does a 26 hit?
Yep.
Okay. So you end up taking... So with that, you take 13 points of slashing damage as a bone claw comes and rakes across you, and he then circles around you, pops over to the car itself, gets behind the door, sticks his arm out, and is going to do a ranged attack against Azu in the back. So it's going to be with the -5. Nat 1, critical failure. Okay.
Nice.
As he goes to do it, you see this red electricity shoot around his arm up into the bone, and he screams, grabs it as more spikes just jut out of his body as if it is growing or rejecting something. That'll be the rest of their turn. We go up to the guy on the other side who is going to leap on top of the car and take more shots at Cade, actually, when he's down on the ground. He does hit, so as Cade is down, got that angle on him, bones start impaling into his shoulder, and he takes that much damage. Jeez. Okay. And he's going to fire again. He takes 11 points of damage.
Okay.
He's going to fire again with a -5. Misses. He's going to fire again with a -10. Misses. This guy just stands up and just starts unloading at his body. The guy with the tail is going to jump, roll over the car with one action, spin around to attack you with a tail with his second action. And then that is going to be a 26 to hit again. Love that. So you are going to then take...
I think we all have low AC.
Yeah. 12 points of...
Is it taking the 12?
Mintala.
Okay.
12 points of slashing damage as this spinning tail reaches over the guy's head in front of you and slams into you.
Mintala's not looking too great.
Oh no. Okay.
Guys did run at him. Then the guy with the jaw is going to sprint towards Chuck. Get to the car. I'm assuming you close the door, and he's going to try to do a strength check to open the door on that side. Which, unless he rolls very well, not good enough. Okay, so he just struggles there and attempts to rip open this door, and you see him, before he does this, start taking a deep breath while he's staring at you. Might be preparing for something. Mintala, it's your turn.
Okay. How many people could I get with a 15-foot cone?
If you angled it properly, 3 of the thugs.
All right, perfect. I will do that. I'm going
Not
to...
the car, though, right?
The car they're in, not the car you're in.
Okay, good.
Because he's fighting around the thug's car that pulled up. You're off getting your Duesenberg.
I'm at their car. I'm gonna ruin their car with this. You would hate if I used it on your car. So he kind of squares up and and pulls his arms to the sides and then just like, roar! And then out of the heart in his chest, I cast Pummeling Rubble.
What? What does that do?
I'm gonna press the button. Okay, a spray of heavy rocks flies through the air in front of you. The rubble deals 2d4 bludgeoning damage to each creature in the area. They must attempt a reflex save, and then
Okay.
that'll affect how it gets them. I rolled 3 for the bludgeoning damage though.
Oh, you
Actually,
natty
is that-
one, the bludgeoning.
Oof.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
with
got a
a-
1 and a 2 on the d4s,
A reflex.
and I
1 success, 2 failures. So we're going to say
Is your save DC supposed to be 10 or is it supposed to be higher?
it should be higher than that.
it feels like it should be higher. I might not have said it right.
You might not have set it to trained for your class for the spell save.
Yeah.
What is your spell
Oh yeah,
save DC?
I've not. How do I know? What is how is it
Let's see, you're
calculated?
a charisma caster.
Your spell DCs, your
Yeah.
DC is base 10, and then you have your key, and then you have your proficiency. It should be on the spells tab. Under spell
Trained.
attacks, spells DC.
Oh, there it is. It's 15.
It's actually 19
Or it's 19. Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
because you are trained with your spell casting and it does it based off your charisma. So I got that all squared away for you. So
Right.
19. With that, 1 success, 2 failures. 1 rolled really well. The other 2 rolled under 10. So you have 3 damage to that. Is it anything for the people that actually one
If
of them
they fail, they're
critically
pushed.
fails? So the guy that's actually on top of the car
6.
takes 6 damage
And it's
and
pushed
is
off the car.
launched off of the car onto the middle of the parking lot. Great. That is
Nice, okay, that's-
awesome.
He's prone too.
He is prone as well,
It makes me feel better about rolling a 3 on the damage.
right? Okay. So
And then
with
If I
that's
make a
2 actions.
that was 2
okay.
actions. If I make a melee attack, does that count as my first melee attack, or was the spell an attack?
I feel like that would be your first melee attack.
Yeah, I think it's first because that one
Mhm.
wasn't a spell attack. It was a save. If I'm
Yeah.
correct.
All right. Great. I'm gonna punch the guy with the arm in front of me again. Then,
Go
if he's
for
still
it.
in front of me,
Yeah.
or did
he
I
is.
push him
He-
away? Okay, right.
There's the guy with the arm right in front of you, the guy with the tail who's behind him.
Nice.
Okay,
Okay.
25 on the roll, 6 damage.
That was a dice
right.
roll of 18.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Very well done. That guy looks rough. As you hit him, the entire bone pauldron falls over, and you felt with the punch a couple of ribs break, and you see a bit of blood come out the side of his mouth. And he's
Alright,
barely
alright.
hanging on. Okay, next with that is Kyoko.
You said you weren't looking so good, Mintala. Like how bad you looking?
GM, do we tell each other what our hit point numbers are, or do you prefer like vague descriptions?
I like both, is the issue. I say in combat,
Can I
when we're
tell
talking,
that you need some healing?
Yeah.
Is
if we're
what I'm
talking
wondering.
within mechanics of a fight, I say we can use HP. If we're out of fight in roleplay, try not to bring it up.
Okay, I'm at 11
Ooh.
out of
Okay.
36.
Can Kyoko get to Mintala? Because I just saw
Easily.
him like smash stuff. She just kind of goes up to you, and I guess I probably only reach like maybe part your way, and she's just like, "If I may," and she's just gonna put her hand on you and heal you. I think I can do this for 3 as 3 actions.
Okay,
and
it's
give
1 to
you-
3 actions. You can.
Yeah.
So I
There's
believe
no saving. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm just gonna roll the 3d8. So 14. Yeah. that's
So with you could actually, with the second, if you're using 2 actions, you can reach him from where you were. You wouldn't have to leap outside to run at him
Oh, okay.
because he's only 25 feet away.
Okay. Then yeah, I think she just heals you from a distance.
Perfect. Reach up from over, blast at him, and you see the damage that you took from.
And if you do it as a 3 action, it says it's in a 30-foot emanation. So I think it becomes a multi-person heal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Healing
anyone else needs
Pathfinder is
healing.
fun.
I also I assumed heightened effects are in effect. I just was reading the heightened effects line.
Yeah.
So that's if she was to cast it at like a second or third or fourth level.
So I mean, if you're doing the 3 action, you just healed Cade and Azu's parents.
Well,
True.
Kyoko, what would you like to do?
I just want to heal Mintala. Whatever extra effects come from that, I'm cool with. I'm cool with also healing other people.
Cool. Then if you want to use all three, set it up. You rolled 14. Ooh, 14. Cade
One of them
likes
was a
that.
1. Not good. But the 8 balanced it
Yeah,
out.
one was an 8.
I know. I was like a
I'm
1.
feeling a
What
lot
is
better.
8?
I feel like there was like there was like just chunks of rubble like scattered around that weren't fired out by the spell, and some of them like.
What would be
like,
cool is if
popped
they
back on.
reattached. Yeah, it's like if they like floated back up onto you.
I think
So,
Hold on.
like
Kyoko, how would you describe your magic?
I just want to point out that
Yeah.
it targets all living creatures if you do the 3 actions, so it would heal them too.
Oh, that's true. It says all living and undead creatures are targeted. So
I think I'll just heal Mintala if that's okay.
That's fine.
That makes sense. I think for this instance, I would love it to be like where the pieces that had fallen off of him come back onto him. That'd be neat.
Okay.
yeah, I think Mintala's health is represented by how many chunks he's missing, and so when he gets healed, they kind of come back on. It's like his cohesion improves again.
So the
think
slash you
it'd be
took from the claw, the dirt that hit the ground from that just jumps back up onto the body, reforming into itself. The large gash that you took from the tail just goes right back into like your rib cage or what there would be, as these chunks of yourself almost rewind back through time to reform you. Okay, Azu. Well, do you still have one action? Is there anything else you'd like to do if you're only doing the single target?
I think that she'll just position herself closer to Azu then. And then, or is it, I keep saying, is it Azu? I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Both work. I
Okay.
think honestly the difference is our accents.
Yeah, I know that's
Both
what I think
fine.
is happening is our accents are different. And she'll just kind of walk over or go over to where he's at with his parent or where they're at with their parents and be like, I'll watch over them. It's all right. And she's going to try to help their parents.
Okay. We'll say it's gone easy. You're able to get over there, have a conversation, no problem. Chuck.
Cool. The guy's outside my window. First action, I'm opening the door to hit him with the door.
Cool. We'll call it a bash. Just roll me an unarmed attack.
All right. I guess I rolled low. It's a 9.
Oof.
I rolled a 4.
So with that, you boom, punch out, and you actually do like bump into him. It startles him a little bit, but it's not enough to do damage. So he's a little
Cool.
bit farther away from the door and the car. 2 actions left.
All right, I'm gonna drive the car and hit the. I'm gonna hit the other car that has the one guy behind it, and hopefully in a direction to knock that car onto the one that got flung backwards.
Perfect. You have your class DC, right?
I don't know what that means.
So if you go down on the left side of your page, you have a class DC that
Yes.
shows like if you were to do an ability, that's what the
Yes.
saving throw would be. Are we cool with doing the thug has to roll a reflex save against that class DC or take 2d10 damage?
That works for me.
Perfect. I'm going to do that. With a 17 is unable to dodge out of the way. Go ahead and roll me that beautiful 2d10 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, 12. I rolled a 10 and a 2.
Beautiful. That is that guy. Who's then going to take... Ooh. As you run over him, you hear the as the bone starts to crack down. And as this happens, it is Cade's turn, whose eyes goes wide. And he looks around at what's happening. And he just stands up, puts a hand out as this purple energy emanates as he drops his cane, and it almost hovers for a second, swirls as this purple energy builds around it, and he grabs it, slams it into the ground. Energy ripples out. All of the thugs are lifted up into the air, and he takes his hand and pulls it together as all of them get launched to the floor again and take a lot of bludgeoning damage. Yeah. As they all slam to the ground, their bones crack, compress, and then splat into the ground. And he sits there haggard. Okay. Maybe I'm postponing my trip. And that's where we're ended for today.
Oh, snap.
Oh boy.
So, thank you guys. It was really fun to introduce all your characters and get this going.
Next time,
Yeah.
Chuck will bring his guns.
I mean, we thought we were just going to a diner.
Yeah, it was the first meeting. I was like, he wouldn't grab his guns for a first meeting. He's just meeting
Of course
the guy.
not. I love your creativity of thinking, okay, don't have my weapons. What do I have? Sturdy car. Got it. Like, it was
Run him
beautiful.
over.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well,
That
we
was
hope that you have
wonderful.
enjoyed our episode, our first episode of Veil Torn. There's so much more to share with you all. So we hope that you will tune in next week on Thursday. We'll be doing this at Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. And of course, we want to thank you all for coming over here and watching us. We appreciate it if you watched us live. We do have some merch if you want to go check it out. Head on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/roll for it to check out our merch. And of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Roll20. Thank you so much, Roll20, for supporting us. If you've been curious how we're doing our rolls and things of that sort, that's how we're doing it, is through Roll20. They're new character sheets for us, so we're all getting used to it from D&D
I think, though,
Pathfinder.
The way that the character sheets are laid out is making it easier to learn. I will
Yeah,
say.
it's
It's
getting
helping with
there.
a lot.
Yeah. And I think once we learn it a little bit more, it'll be better. But
Oh, yeah.
and of course, we want to thank our supporter today, Thunder Cabbage. Thank you, Thunder Cabbage, so much for supporting today's episode. And if you would like to become a supporter of an episode, you can become a legend tier or above and support an episode. And not only do you get that, but you also get access to a privately GM'd game by one of our GMs. Trooper is currently GMing one, and Kai will be GMing some that could potentially affect the game. You never know. And of course, we do have some goodies up on our Patreon. We have our background stories. So if you want to see all of the cool background stories for our characters, some of them do have redacted sections. So we're curious to see what y'all think about that. And of course, there are a whole ton of other goodies on there for years and years and years of all of the campaigns that we've done. So we hope you enjoy that. We know, of course, don't only have to support us on Patreon. You can support us right here on Twitch if you're watching us live. You can subscribe and you get access to our VODs in advance as well as emotes. And if you become a YouTube member, you can get access to some of those emotes as well. And whether you're a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or a Patreon supporter, you get access to our private Discord, which I already saw a couple new faces pop in there. I'm sure we'll be chatting a bit about all the stuff in there. I know Kai's been actively chatting with people.
It's fun. It's good
yeah.
conversation.
I know you're excited too because you're like, someone talk to me.
What? I
Tell me
enjoy
the
conversing.
And of course, we understand that not everybody can support us monetarily if you need to take care of your family and you first. But there are a lot of free ways to support us. You can watch us live right here on Twitch next week. You can make clips while we're live. You can only do that while we're live. I hope we have some cool clips. And of course, you can watch on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and like, share, and retweet. And with that, I'm going to go around and see where you can find everybody else and what everyone else has going on, as well as, but if you don't mind looking up if we got any donations, that would be cool.
If I can remember the buttons to press, I will.
We'll start with our game master, Kai. Where can people find you at when you're not, of course, trying to murder us in a diner?
When I'm not spending many hours in my room in the dark thinking of ways to murder you guys, you can find me at Kybear on Twitch and KybearVO on Twitter. I do sometimes play D&D games there with my friends, play fun games, do fun stuff. It's a lot of good time. That's about it.
All right. And next we have Drac. Where can people find you at when you are not serving delicious French toast and getting attacked in your diner?
Yeah, when I'm not getting shot at by bones, you can find me on Twitter, mostly at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I kind of stream. I'm a performer on a bunch of different channels, so you can find me on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern over on Table Story in a campaign called Kingmakers. On Thursdays, I'm here, playing Azu in Roll-Torn. On Saturday, actually next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern over on Vana's channel, that's VANA, it's going to be a finale of our Strixhaven campaign, Higher Education. It's going to be ending with a ball episode, and ball episode plus finale, like there's nothing could possibly go wrong there. Obviously, it's going to be great. Just come and hang out and watch. There's other stuff I'm working on that are in the works, but I can't talk about. Just follow me on Twitter to find out those things first. But I'm very excited. I got a lot of stuff in the works.
Yeah, excited to hear what's up next for you. And then of course we have playing Chuck. Tyler, where can people find you at when you are not being rich and fixing cars?
Being rich and fixing cars.
Being rich, fixing cars, driving cars, You can find me not being those things, but doing my podcast called Go My Favorite Sports Team. I'm hoping to come back to streaming soon, but if you want to find out all that I'm up to, I usually post about it on socials, particularly Twitter, although I have been more active on Instagram. That's all apocalypto_12. But Maggie, where can people find you when you're not here on Roll For It doing the amazing stuff and twinging at every potential impact of fate?
You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I'm Margaret Crone. I do lots of things on the internet, and I also make games and video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, which you can find at Ashes of Creation in all the places. And of course, last but not least, we have Bentham Plays. Where can people find you at when you are not being a pile of dirt, apparently?
I'm always a pile of dirt.
Sorry.
Just a state
I
of
couldn't
being.
not do that one.
So great.
You can find me. You can find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Twitch and on YouTube, where for reasons that are dumb, I go by Mangled Pork, and there you can find me doing Let's Plays on Twitch, or maybe lore videos about Horizon Forbidden West on YouTube, or maybe something else if the whim takes me. We'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping to play some more Plates Up soon, because if I don't, Rick will murder me for having him look after a single player save for like a month so that he can't play himself. I'm sorry, Rick. And then we might do some Baratrom and some Valheim and things like that. That's me.
Awesome. And what about donations? Do we have one?
I checked. We didn't get any tips today as far as I can tell, but I could have missed them. I'm bad at this. But we did get bits and resubs and gift subs and stuff, which we appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much.
that.
We really appreciate you coming out for our episode 1. Again, we'll have shows, every week. So we hope that you'll tune in and enjoy. And we will see you all next week. We're going to go record an after show now. So I'm sure we'll have lots of things to say with each other. But we hope that you all have a wonderful day. And of course, our VTM VOD, if you guys want to check that out, will be up on our YouTube channel as well. So if you are looking for some more content and this was not enough and you need some more, head on over to our YouTube and we'll be pushing that live shortly. Bye.